The place where we usually record, who owns it, they are close contact for COVID. So we had to pack up ship and move to Matt's house. And even worse so, if we're not looking as crisp as we usually do, our videographer Doug is away. So we currently have Michael D'Angelo filling in. But then his SD card fucked up. So we're actually filming this on his phone. So
well, Steve Jobs.
Officially the most cursed episode of the podcast.
This is on the fucking bones of our arse here, man.
Fucking dust for brains, you know.
We had to hustle it, but we're here.
We're here, and we have like more people in the room this time. So like, if anyone wants to jump in, usually what we do, if Doug jumps in or Adam jumps in or whatever, we don't give a fuck. So
if you agree with me, you're more than welcome.
Come argue your case. Love the audience applause. So I think you went first story last time, so I go first this time.
Yeah, sure.
Right. I think this one is it's a weird one, but it's not a massive story. It's just experience, a moment. Okay. I want to talk about everything leading up to that moment.
All right, talk.
And because I think we're talking about the debate for this week is the best one hit wonder in history. I think it's gonna feed into my argument later about the importance of music and songs and all this kind of shit. But let's go back. So the thing is, in a fucking African home, if you misbehave, there's a looming threat of not just the punishment of God, but of being sent back to Nigeria, right? Like that's
I've heard that. Yeah.
That's the threat, because you think you hear every once in a while, like you have a cousin or a friend of a friend
fucked up, send it back.
Got too many bad grades, sent back.
Jesus.
Misbehaved too much, sent back. Got caught with a girl, sent back. Got caught with a boy, beat, then sent back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fucking hell, man.
It was a thing of you never want it to be too bad, because like you push them too far, they might, if you're lucky, they'll drop you there for a summer. If you fuck up, you're dropped there for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Like they might really leave your ass there.
You're living with nanny now.
So I remember I moved to Ireland when I was 2, right?
Right.
Now I spent 10 years here. I never went back once, because there's a whole thing with like my passport status. So actually, it's interesting enough now. The law at the time was, if you were an immigrant and your parent had a kid here, that kid got a red passport automatically, and so did they had a passport and residency. Yeah. So my ma had my sister here, so she had a red passport, so we had a residency, but I had a Nigerian passport. Okay. So me leaving Ireland and get back into here would be a whole fucking ordeal. Yeah, it's a mess. It was a whole process of like, it's not even guaranteed I'd be allowed back in. So we didn't go for ages. Yeah, I know a couple of people. So eventually, after a bunch of shit, my man never getting, I think, her green card, not even her red passport, but her green card. So it meant that like she could leave and come back, and since we were kids, we could leave finally. Okay. So I was going to Nigeria for basically the first time, because
so you had no context of it at all.
No, like I mean, you leave something when you're at 2. I only have glimpses. I have 2 memories. I have a memory of standing on top of a roof in the scorching heat, and I have
2 years of age.
Yeah, that's my first memory.
Daddy, will you, for fuck's sake!
No, I think I was with my uncle.
Do a flip.
I also have a memory of like my first. My memory goes standing on that roof during the daytime with my uncle and my brother, being in the car, arriving at Dublin Airport. Those are like my first 3 memories, and that's the sequence of the shit. Crazy. I remember seeing like a plane and being there at nighttime, being like, this plane thing is huge. So we're flying back over, right? Now, mind you, I've never done any, like, leaving the country. I've never experienced Nigeria. I've never done nothing, right? Step 1, we have a bunch of bags where you kind of bring in gifts for, like, family.
You gotta bring back the gear.
This will become important later. So I'm bringing clothes and shit that are, like, too big for me. Yes. So we're taking the flight. It's like a 6-hour flight. Especially because if you've never even been on a plane before, you don't remember. Crazy. It goes from never being on a plane to being, it's a 6-7 hour thing. Yeah.
First time I was ever on a plane was over to America. I was like, man, what the fuck?
What age were you?
I was 8.
Okay. Oh, very young for a long flight like that.
Or like
as well.
Maybe I'd been on like when I was a baby, or like a really young flight going to like London to my aunties and uncles, but I didn't really remember that. But the first time I was like cognizant of like hit the button, fucking doing the Macarena in the oil, the seatbelts, the fucking landing, taking off was like a flight to America. And I was like, this is mad shit. And now we got like the Boeing, the big joints.
Oh, there's a big boy, yeah.
So yeah, it's major.
It's a lot, and like your ears have never like,
popped.
Like the whole thing is mad. So I have all this gear that's like not mine. Like for it's clearly someone much bigger than me, like cousins, relatives, shit like that.
Yeah.
So we land in Lagos, and it's and I'm just like, hey, Dublin Airport and Lagos Airport.
Wildly different.
Very different vibe. It's like,
yeah.
is this some kind of like EPA code of ethics? Can we make sure this is safe? Even just like landing here, I'm like, this place looks like it might fall apart. All respect to Lagos Airport, it's gotten better now, because of China. That's a whole different complicated thing.
Yeah.
But so we get there.
My shit going on.
I land, and I've never been hit with such heat before in my life. Because the thing is, you think of like, people think of hot countries like, let's say Spain, the Mediterranean. You have that breeze. Over there, it's just oppressive, dead heat.
Head swelling heat.
Yo, Michael's like, goddamn yes. He's like, yo.
Yeah.
So it's a thing of, I've never in my life like felt heat like this. So already, I'm young. It's my first time here. I'm like, I want to go home. I don't like this here, man.
Imagine first I'm home. Fuck Africa, I'm going home. This
Honestly,
is too hot.
man. I'm like, it's too hot. It's too many black people here. The vibes is off, bro. I don't like it. So I'm staying in my uncle's house, right? He has an apartment in Lagos. Like, my family are from Warri, which is, it's like, I think near like the center. Warri, near the center.
No, I haven't heard of Warri. I'm from Delta State.
Yeah, Warri in Delta State.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm from Umuahia.
Where's Delta State? Is it near the center?
Yeah, it is the center.
Okay, right. So it's a fucking 7-hour drive, but we have to take a bus because we could fly. But my mom was like, "Look, you don't want to take internal flights in Nigeria because it's like
You thought the airport was wild?
that shit might do a flip. They might actually do a flip."
You know them CGI Nollywood planes, just like whipping around.
So that shit's like real fucking risky. So we go to sleep the first night, and then I'm watching Desperate Housewives because there was no Wi-Fi shit. So all you had was CDs. So you had seasons of Desperate Housewives. I never watched Desperate Housewives, mind you. But by the time I left this holiday, loved Desperate Housewives.
Okay.
Bet into it.
Right.
The drama, everything.
I
Amazing.
gave it a go. Kind of fell off the wagon for me, but yeah, no, I can say it.
Yeah, I feel like it's a thing that you kind of need to experience at the time. Cause,
Or be literally stuck having to watch it because you've nothing else to do.
Oh, in fact, there was no Wi-Fi. There was no nothing.
None.
And also, they had a real habit of, because there's not electricity, really, you were using generators. You only really use that at nighttime. So during the day, there wasn't even power. You were like
Just fucking raw dog in the world, just out there.
raw dogging it, man. And you can't walk around because it's like, hey, you're a kid in Lagos.
Shit happens here.
You look, you
Not
seem
kid
black
friendly.
until you talk, and then it's very clear you're European. So it's
Right.
like, you don't want to be a kid in that situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they kidnap motherfuckers, there's shit going on. It's not like, it's really much more bad outside the city, but also, you don't want to risk it. And this becomes a little point later. Like,
Okay.
how systems can be kind of dicey. So I went to sleep the first night, woke up at 4 a.m. from a church beside me, and they were going ham on
Singing.
the songs, screaming.
Yes,
They
bro.
weren't singing. They were like praising the Lord with fervor.
They were
You
like
know what I'm
trying
saying?
to shout them down. Like,
They were trying to make sure you heard, you know? So I'm having a bad time. I'm really bummed out. I'm there in my uncle's for 2 days. Fuck all I do. I'm just there with my sister. Like, my brother's coming at like a later point. He had to do his like fucking whatever. He had to. If I was in 6th class, he was like,
Doing
I think
his
doing
junior.
his junior,
Yeah,
sir. Yeah. And me and my sister don't really get along like that. You know what I'm saying? She ain't
Yeah.
got the DS skills to really be like, because we had 2 DSs. She was like trash at Mario Party. So it wasn't even a competition.
Worst.
So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna
Do this again.
playing
on
with
my
this garbage person for the whole time. So I wasn't
Whack.
feeling it. We had to take a 5 a.m. bus to Warri, right?
own. Oof.
So we're waking up really early. We're packing
bus.
up our stuff. We pack all the bag of things that we kind of own, right? And like all the gifts and shit, because it's a lot. And we get on this bus, cramped fucking bus.
Of course it is.
Talking maybe like 12 seats. Less of a bus, more of a
Minibus.
minibus.
Yeah.
You know, big car. And we're driving on this road, and it's such a fucking. It's like, even my experience is getting worse and worse, right? Because like by side of the road, you might pass like a family who are just stark naked, and it's clear that they're people who live like outside the city, so it's like they live purely in the nature. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
they're of the land.
What's that called, Michael? Like, you know, tribes are just kind of like they don't live like modern lives whatsoever. Like they live
Yeah.
in the forest. They kind of like, and it's so kind of bizarre because like they're not that far away from modern living.
Right.
It's that kind of
It's like a choice to be like, yeah, that shit, I'm not about it.
yeah. It's also like almost a choice, but it's the kind of thing. If you're a kid in that situation, it's like I don't even know your option of process again out of that, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like I don't know. So it was really because once again,
have like a pair of jeans.
I've been living in Europe my whole life, mind you. I've been living in Kildare my whole life as well. So for example, in Nace, there was there's a homeless guy called Patsy Kelly, like, you know, God rest the dead.
God rest Patsy.
He was known as the homeless person of Nace. There was one homeless person in Nace.
Yeah.
Like, it was the kind of thing that I hadn't seen or experienced poverty like that, nothing like that before. And you get to these checkpoints, right? And my mom was really like kind of being weird about the whole checkpoint process. Once again, I'm a kid in Kildare, so to me, this obviously one of the, like, you know, all the other details of police and violence and corruption, even in terms of Ireland as well. Like, police are fucking like corrupt everywhere, right? But to me, my experiences with guards have been like, if you get caught doing something in Kildare, like, and then you go home.
Yeah, you
like,
might get a slap or something.
You're not getting people being mad aggressive or shouting at you or nothing. It's all very like,
they're not armed.
Yeah, it's community policing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, I've never had a guard. The only times I ever had a guard be rude or like aggressive to me has been in Dublin.
Depends what you were doing in Dublin.
So, but she was being really kind of weird about these checkpoints, being very kind of like antsy about it.
Yeah,
just being like,
course.
look, if they say anything, just be real respectful, whatever. All this kind of shit.
Smile, be polite,
Cool.
shut the fuck up.
Half first checkpoint, they came onto the bus, asked people where they going, all this kind of stuff. Wasn't bothered. I was playing my DS because once again, I'm young, I don't give a fuck about these niggas. We get to the second checkpoint. We're about like an hour or two outside of Warri, and they get onto the bus. Already, this guy's being like kind of Billy Big Cock, you know what I'm saying? Guns on them, everything. These guys are loaded to the teeth, man. They got AK-47s, like they got the hand thing on them. I have a grenade in their pocket like this.
Well,
I don't know why they're geared up, but they're geared up.
Wait for you, bro.
He's asking people questions. We're at the back of the bus. He goes, all right, what's all this? And all this kind of stuff. Like, where you guys going? My mind's speaking. I'm just there, like, can't play my DS. He's like, excuse me, can you not hear me talking? I'm like, oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you say? I'm like, oh, sorry, man. I just said sorry. He's like, why are you talking like that? I'm like, what? He's like, why are you speaking in that way? I'm not doing this accent justice, obviously, but it's like a real, like, you know,
heavy,
like real. I think it was probably the way it sounded is like Yoruba, real, like kind of like thick Yoruba accent, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, speaking what way? She's like, he grew up in Europe.
Your mom's trying to be like, yo, Irish
ease
kid.
up. You know what
he
I'm
doesn't
saying?
even know.
Yeah. And then he's like, if you're speaking to me, you go speak to me proper.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I was like, I don't know.
I actually don't know what proper is.
I don't know how to
I
get
don't
there.
want to actually now verbalize.
Your man takes the AK-47 off his back, points in my face, says, speak to me proper. I'm like, I'm fucking shitting myself, man. I'm like, and then one of the other guys is like, relax. Like,
Yeah.
my man hands him some money.
Yeah.
Check our bags. Get off the bus.
Fuck me, bro.
So I'm really like, I need to get the fuck out of this
here.
country, man. Like, it's just going from worse to worse, man.
No power, Kalashnikovs in your face. You know what I mean? Like, and then your mom gives him money.
Man.
Fuck that, man. Sorry about that.
I'm a kid, man, so it was nuts. Now we get to Warri, and then everything starts to come up from there, right? We go to like my dad's brother's estate, and it's a really interesting thing because like my dad's dad or my granddad had 3 wives.
My man.
Some funny politics. So like
He had some money.
No.
Oh, okay.
And now look, in modern Nigeria, if you have like a wife or more than one wife and a mistress, you need some money. Yeah, you can't be doing that shit as a broke nigga.
Yeah.
Now back then, you kind of did it as a broke nigga, right? But what's funny is,
I respect him more.
my dad is like the 3rd oldest boy. No.
It's like, you know, I'm broke, but I love you, baby. She's like, yeah, you're right.
It fucked it though, because like my dad is the third oldest boy, but the other 2 oldest boys are from the same mom, if you get me. So like they really helped each other out a lot. So like, 2 of my dad's siblings are like quite wealthy. Like one,
they're from a different mother.
From my dad, yeah. So like one guy basically made it out because like they grew up dirt poor. One guy got a business, kind of made it out, and made sure like the next oldest boy did well as well.
Yeah,
but it's like kind of like,
but didn't pass it over to the other.
No, because it was a different mass. So it's like he obviously like saw my dad as his brother, but it's like all
not really though.
No, because they're
Yeah.
family. That's where we were staying. But it was like all the siblings from my mother are priority, and then you come after that.
I mean, I respect that a little
Yeah, I mean, like, look, I
get
think
it.
you gotta do. I think it's this interesting politics. It's like it's never a sibling's a sibling, you know. But over there, it's kind of like these are primary siblings.
Yeah.
Then you're family, but I ain't gonna bend my back over for you. I help you, but I ain't bend my back over for you. I think that fucked my dad his whole life. I think because it's like you have two older siblings who are
Bossing it.
way more successful than you. I think the mentality of it is like, so my dad would be always the kind of person that like, it's a tangent, but that it would always be, if he did something good, he's constantly comparing it to that. And if you can't reach that, it's not good enough. It's like,
Oh, right.
I
That's
get
a
it.
shame.
I get a job, my accounting degree. And like in Ireland, the beauty of Ireland is the kind of job country that if you get a job, and it's even a trade job, like electrician, you work at it, you eventually make a lot of fucking money. Like that's the process of this country. It's like it might take you years to do, but it's always like most jobs. There's a way to rise through the ranks. The thing about Nigeria is it's not really the kind of same. You either go into a job with money, or you
don't.
go to a job that's just a job. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna boss up like an electrician over there the same way that you could eventually boss up over here.
Okay.
So we're staying with my uncle, and he got this fucking crazy ass mansion. I'm talking Hummers. Like
what?
2 Hummers, huge mansion. The street was called
Hummers.
Arugbo Street.
Oh, what?
Arugbo Street. It was his street.
For now, this is
Yeah.
a guy I gotta meet.
He had police
Driving
officers.
a Hummer down a street you named.
Nuts.
Like, this guy is balling out of control.
It wasn't Master Street. It could barely fit the Hummer.
It
But
doesn't matter, though.
a street nonetheless.
Yeah.
He had this sick house where like the gate, he had paid police officers guarding his house.
Damn.
24/7. They were there 24/7.
Yeah, I suppose, though, if you got that kind of money, you're gonna need
They
it.
could, yeah, they would come for your ass, man. He had like lines on the gate, the whole thing. So like we get there and the experience is completely different. And it just shows it kind of like it's such a testimony of like countries like Nigeria where like if you have money, it's heaven on earth. It is the nicest place in the world to be.
Yeah.
It's like all the poverty, all the suffering, everything. Once you have money, you can ease past all that, which is like is terrible in a way. But as a kid, it went from like it was wild to have that experience to like my uncle's small apartment
Yeah.
in
Turning the power off
Lagos
during the day and all.
to this
Seeing
massive
naked
mansion.
people on the street to fucking Hummers.
A TV bigger than I've ever seen in my fucking life in the guest quarters, my own bedroom, like all this kind of different shit.
What?
A chef making food, breakfast, lunch,
chef.
dinner, all day. His mistress, him leaving to go because he had a mistress because he had
Of course
peas.
he did. He
you know what
got
I'm
2
saying?
Hummers, he's gonna need 2 boards.
And we're at this like I just remember being on this like massive. I remember feeling weird about it, right? I remember feeling weird about it, and just like we're at this massive party, massive beach pool party, right? And like we're vibing. I'm having a great time. It's like you swear you're in fucking Ibiza. Like
Yeah.
it's like food, everything amazing, like all white buildings. And then I kind of like leave to go get like a food in this place that I did like a fast takeaway. I look up on the TV and Michael Jackson had died.
That's mad. I knew exactly where I was at the same time.
Exactly. Like it's so weird where a lot of people know exactly where they are.
Yeah.
Where this person died. I just remember just being so weird of being like having all these complicated feelings about this space I was in.
Yeah.
And then like obviously that person who was also great having all these complicated feelings about this
Them.
nigga.
Yeah.
And now for some reason I've always tied those two together. I can't think of Nigeria when I'm thinking of Michael Jackson. I can't think of Michael Jackson when I'm thinking of
Think of
Nigeria.
Nigeria?
It's mad, man.
Bro, imagine Michael Jackson made Afrobeat. It would be fucking amazing.
That'd be
I
heat.
know it would.
That'd be
It'd
fucking
it'd
heat.
be
No,
sweet.
man. I don't know. That's not even really like an end to the story, but I just think it's
It is. Somebody died.
yeah. But I also think we're just talking about the importance of music, and we're talking about experiences and shit.
Yeah.
I just
Do you
think
know what I was when Michael Jackson died?
Where were you?
I was coming out of a cinema with all my mates, and we'd snuck a rake of cans in to see. I think,
into the cinema.
Oh yeah.
You were drinking in the cinema.
Yeah, man.
What did you?
When did he die? I would have been like 17, 18 or something.
Yeah, you dating yourself now.
I don't give a fuck.
You know,
bro.
he
Do you know
he
what I
died.
mean? Fucking crazy.
Yeah, I think you're right. Because I was.
It was late 2000s.
June 25th, 2009.
Yeah. So yeah, I was a teenager. So I remember all of us like somebody texted into the group. We didn't think it was real. It was like Michael Jackson died, blah blah, and it came with a joke as well. And we were all just like falling about laughing. We all had like, fucking Nokias or whatever like that. And the cinema was like a mile long back to like one of the boys' gaffs. So we were all just falling about the place, piss drunk laughing. And then we got in and he found out he died. And I was like, oh, that is kind of sad. Because I was a big Michael Jackson fan. Do you still listen to his music?
So that's what I want to talk about. Where for me, because I don't think Michael Jackson's like I'd be listening to him on a daily. But if his shit came up, I would absolutely listen because I think you can't beef with the dead. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like any beef we have, once you become a corpse, our beef is over. But I remember the time, that was like, I've only seen my dad like cry twice. It was when his ma died. And when he got that news, like I didn't see it because he left.
Yeah,
But
you knew.
He cried. And this is a man who's like so closed off in terms of his emotions and everything. So it was just wild to see the hold like that dude had on him, you know?
Hold on. The second time you seen your father cry was when Michael Jackson died?
I think it might have been the first time.
Wow.
So I think his mom
really loved Michael Jackson music.
Really.
Matt Man was massive fan of him. He actually bought tickets to the This Is It tour. Remember he died before he did the tour? Went over and all for the vigil and all that shit. It was crazy. Like, he was massive. Like, one of our first songs we ever made is The Animators sampled the Jackson 5. Like, it was major, man. That was like being a kid trying to learn how to fucking moonwalk. And you grow up and you're like,
I think because it's like then it complicates the whole experience.
Isn't it? Yeah. I just really like Quincy Jones. Sorry.
Quincy Jones is fucking hilarious. But I guess in honor of Michael Jackson, I even like trying to think of which song to pick is fucking nuts. But I always loved.
One of that something.
I was gonna pick Smooth Criminal.
Smooth Criminal.
Yeah, I've always thought that was the most sick beat.
Really?
Ever.
Okay.
Okay, so this is definitely gonna be copyrighted, but
Like
Smooth Criminal.
DMC takedown notice in 3, 2, 1.
And we back.
We back. Fucking
You're
ghetto style.
Matt and Mayan's temporary house. It's
Thank
amazing.
you so much.
Thank you for having
Make
us,
some
man.
noise for them.
A round of applause. You had a mad weekend in Cork. Can we talk about that, or are we keeping it kosher?
I just had a good weekend in Cork.
Okay, right.
That's all. I was a good boy, drank a bit. Yeah, it's nice. I just find it so mad because I was in West Cork. And that's not like really Cork. That's like, I was like, oh, West Cork, cool. And then I looked
Weird
at the
that you
map.
ended up being in Cork, the best county in Ireland. Weird that you ended up being in there, man. You know what I'm saying? Why is Michael making face out? You really go cape for Dublin?
Yeah, bro.
You,
I'm gonna ride for Dublin.
Exactly, man.
Michael, you and other Blanche niggas used to find Tyler niggas and fight each other. Don't be caping for a place. Don't do that. Don't do that right now. Fuck out of here.
You're Blanche. No, it was good. It's good crack. I just didn't realise how like fucking remote the place is. I always get very weirded out going into the countryside.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know.
It's because we don't belong there.
It's not. Yeah, I even was.
Bro, you live in Ireland. To like people in New York, all of this is a countryside.
No,
Like, don't
no.
be Billy Big
100%.
City.
We
I
were-
leave Dublin, I'm like,
No, I get it is, and I understand like we are the cultures of the world. I understand that, right? But it's more a case of like it's not. What's that thing called? Agoraphobia, when you're scared of like open places and all that. Did you ever hear that?
I think I've heard of it. I don't think
Yeah.
it's called. Is it go? Is that what it's
Yeah,
called?
Like you're like freaked out by like say you're in the desert or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But or like out in the countryside.
West
like,
Cork desert.
when I was a kid, I used to, anytime my mum was going into town, I was like, Mark, can I come please? I love being in the centre of town, seeing what people were up to, seeing what they were doing, the hustle and bustle. The older I've got, the more I've just tried to move closer into the city centre. Now I live fucking in town, and it's amazing. But I get so freaked out when I drive down there, especially because you do festivals, and it's always in this back arse field, not bothering anybody. So it is the most remote places in Ireland usually, and you're always driving down, and you pass some hill, and it's just a gaff up the top of it, and you go, "What the fuck are you doing living there? What do you do for a living? You live on the side of a hill, in the middle of nowhere, with no neighbours, like." Here's the thing, you go down right one morning, you have a bit of a hangover, and you fucking hit the stairs, next fall, your ankle goes, you go down that stairs, you're dead. You might not be dead, but it took 3 hours for that ambulance going there, bro. You're bleeding out like a motherfucker.
You're dead.
You were dead. I think it's not like other places in Ireland, it's the countryside of freaks. Like going to like Dingle and all, like it's heaven on earth. It's untouched
Truly
beautifulness.
heaven on earth.
But
man.
getting there is a fucking pain in the hoop. I remember having to get a bus to Donegal one time. 6
Ooh,
hours.
yeah, I did
and then
that
I
one
had to get a
time.
bus to Letterkenny. Then I had to get a bus out to Bunlack.
Why
Which
you,
is
fucking hell, man. I had to get a
amazing.
bus to that Kenny once.
I
It was
went,
nuts.
yeah, and then I went even further out to the Gaeltacht area, and I got to this pub up the top of a hill, and I opened the door, and it was fucking mad windy and all, and I opened the door, and it slammed behind me, and just like this, the pub was the size of this room, and like every man for the 20k mile radius just like stared at me, and I was like, I'm not a guard, and they were like, alright, and they just kept smoking. They just pulled out cigarettes and started smoking again. I was like, I love that shit, but I just couldn't live it. Everyone says, oh, I want to live out in the middle of nowhere when I go. I was like, no, you don't. I want to look at Just Eat or fucking Deliveroo and be spoiled for fucking choice. I want to be like sushi for breakfast.
I hate that.
And I'll walk there.
Let me say, but that's why and look, if I
I'm
can,
a spoiled girl.
if I could cap for a second for Kildare, right? I think that's why Kildare is, I think, truly underrated because it does those two things perfectly. As in, there are places where I live, if I walk 10 minutes, I'm in a field where none I can see. As far as I can see,
do you
is
enjoy
field.
that?
No, but here's the thing. I love that because, especially as a kid, like my thing is, I feel as well as a kid, like you have almost like the world's your playground in this very kind of like fun way where you go discover things. You like explore and you truly find like, I mean, the amount of times we've decided, oh, let's go walk somewhere and we find like a whole base that something is 20 years ago built and it's still intact. And it hasn't been destroyed. There's no graffiti. There's no nothing.
It's like Stand By Me. That
No,
didn't
it is
happen.
like that. No, dude.
Yo, want to see a dead body?
Yo,
It didn't happen, bro.
You go places where like
What's that mad Robin Williams film where he's like fucking 40 years of age, but he's like, he has that mad disease where he's like a 45-year-old man within his head, but he's like technically 8. Did you ever see that film?
Benjamin Button.
No, it's like he's technically 8 because he was born 8 years ago, but he has this thing wrong with him, but he grows up and he's like Robin Williams, like fucking receding hairline, he's growing.
Yo, doesn't he fuck someone in that movie as well?
I don't know about that, bro, and I ain't fucking talking and about that shit. No.
Are you? He gets with someone in that movie or something. Yeah, I think I know because people are
He
like,
fancies a board.
and she like kisses.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna,
Okay,
I'm gonna
alright,
fucking
let's-
back up out of that conversation.
Let's move off
anyway.
it. But anyways, back to why Kill There is great because it's like you have that element of like really being in this place that like I think especially if you like that aesthetic is really not. I mean, the issue is obviously Dublin's expanding fucking outward into Kildare,
Yeah,
into
yeah.
Wicklow and shit. So like all those places where I
Are
grew
just
up,
full of dubs.
not full of does, but like they keep on trying to build on it. They're like, we
Yeah,
need
yeah.
new housing states. But then I was just like 30, 40 minutes away from town. So it's like I could have both those things
See,
very
30, 40
easily.
minutes is not for me now, to be honest.
Nigga, there are people who are going from Tempelo who gotta take a 30, 40 minute bus to town, boss. I was getting there before niggas from Tyler when they were taking the Lewis.
Yeah, but you're taking the express. Look, the whole thing for me was like, my man and I moved to fucking Meath, and I was like the first time, it was summertime, I ran back into the kitchen, I was like, man, smell a shite outside.
Yeah,
And she was like,
just-
yeah, they do that. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah, it's silage. I'm not into it, man. It's not for me. It's just like
I'm not mad at
I
that,
didn't understand one horse towns until like you get to be like a teenager there and you're like, oh fuck, there's nothing to fucking do. After you stop exploring and being a kid, you're like, there's fucking nothing to do here. That said though, and like obviously the rest of my life I would spend just in Dublin, in my aunties and my grannies all the time. I was only saying to Matt, I was like, I don't know anybody from there. I have no friends from there. But because it took so long to get out and all that fucking buses and all that shit, it made me, this is why I'm grateful for it, is that it made me, because I was very much like a latchkey kid. And parents were about working and then my sister would be out doing her own thing. So I'd be on my own in my house a lot. So I would have to just make my own fun. And I didn't have a lot of people to call over for. And like, I didn't know anybody in the estate and shit like that. And like, I didn't go to school there. And it was just like, so I just spent my whole time learning about rap music and learning how to DJ and learning how to make music and write and all that stuff. And I think if I was born somewhere else, like I think we were gonna go either there or Santry. I think if I was in Santry, it could have been a completely different whole life. Do you know what I mean? But I like that. Like most people I know who make music or are an artist or do shit spent a lot of time on their own by themselves learning how to do something, and mostly not by choice. Do you know what I mean? Introverted people generally don't want to be on a stage with people shouting at them.
Yeah.
Did you spend a lot of time alone?
It's funny because
Or are you just an attention seeker?
just on that, I think I just like attention. I mean, no. I mean, look, like I think
Oh, we all are. Come on. Do you know what I mean? There's
all-
always something wrong with us. If I
all
fucking need hundreds of
creatives-
people to tell me, like, you're good. Do you know what I mean?
all creators have a bit of arrogance in them. Mind you, we're not all dancers, so we're kind of better than them. But yeah, all creatives have a
Bro,
certain
you
amount
are
of
fucking
arrogance.
hard for these breakdancers.
But can I say that one of the best things about the country, and this is probably, I think, it sucks to hear.
I don't even call that the country. I call it the burbs.
The burbs. Oh yeah,
Because the country is like that dude up there
Yeah, look,
with a broken neck at the bottom of the stairs.
it's half culture. But one of the best things, I think maybe even Matt and me, I can test this. Like one of the best things about living in an area that's not a city is like the idea, anyways, is that community. As in, I always said that the only place I did not feel black in Ireland was in Kill,
Yeah, you
where
said
you
that.
are so part of that community. Where it's like the thing is, everyone there knows each other to a level where it's like, as in, you couldn't like if a new family moved into Kill, the village knew.
Right.
It was the kind of thing where like people, it was a level of closeness. I think
Oh, you're the new family.
you'll get in like places in cities like estates, but to have a whole area, a whole village where it's
I think that's doable in town. And I think it's doable in Dublin. And I actually found...
it's doable because you're a rapper and people know
No,
you, so you can have
honestly,
access
no,
to that.
because like there's people I know who everybody bleeding knows, and they're not in anything creative. They're just like a buzzer about the place, or even like I actually found a massive lack of community out in Mates.
Which is what I'm saying. Which I
Because
think
it was a load of dubs forced out and Celtic Tiger, and people were trying to be like, oh, I can get out of my small house and buy a decent one, just outside
in me, but then you
Branchestown.
don't want to be in me.
Yeah, my dad says it all the time. He's like, I love my house. I wish it wasn't here. My mum though, she would live in the middle of nowhere. She'd be up there with your man, giving him fucking CPR in the fucking house on the hill. Like, she hates all that shit because like she's from Ballymun. She was just like, I've just had fucking everybody all around me my whole life. I just want a piece of fucking quiet. Like, she hates when a dog barks outside. I'm like, man, that's what dogs do. Relax. But like when you have so many people who there's no forged community links, it's probably the time I moved out when everybody was moving out.
and they're new. It's like
And
there's a bunch
nobody
of new
knew
people.
anything. There was no clubs. There was no fucking...
Do you know that like
pubs.
really corny fucking shit that they do in like young TV shows where it's like the new neighbors, let me bring them a pie and shit. When I'm moving into my estate, they brought us food. Like that. This is what I mean. It's like
Fuck
you
that.
get shit like that sometimes.
Get away from me. You come over to my house and fuck food
Man,
like that.
listen, you guys have done
It's got to be
both.
like 2 months of like we're cutting our grass at the same time, and there's a few just like head nods. You know that?
No,
and then you might see each other in like the spar. Oh, wait, what's the story? Then you can build on something like
No,
that.
I
But
wanna know
see
my
whole
neighbours.
family
Yeah.
in Dublin. They know everybody out and down the road.
But you guys have been there. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like and it's kind of like, 'cause especially you have some family all over Dublin, so it's like it's years to have built that. But
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, I don't know. I think especially like I don't know if I was to be moving somewhere as a new person, like for the first time or something, I wouldn't want to come. And it's the same reason I think people are like, colleges always have like a reason for why they have the most dropouts, right? And it's like, let's say Manute, for example, like I hate my fucking course. I couldn't get into anything. I did arts. I fucking hate arts. UCD is always, I felt isolated. I found it hard to build friends, whatever. If you're a person that isn't like super outgoing or hard to engage with people, and you get dropped into a city, you get dropped into somewhere massive like UCD, or you get dropped into like town, you might have a hard time. I think it's harder to get lost in the cracks in somewhere like rural, and that might be a good or bad thing. You might want to be someone that likes your own personal time, your own privacy, which you have less of. Like, you cannot be kissing a girl in that village, and niggas in the village don't know y'all dating. Like, adults, like, yeah, Timmy, who's 12, he's dating Sarah now, who's like fucking 11.
Okay.
People
That
know,
level?
people know. You guys have experienced both. What do you think? Like, how do you...
People are more interested in the countryside.
I
Yeah.
remember you were saying you
Definitely
wanted to
weirder.
raise
I'll give
kids.
you that.
You wanted to raise kids. If you're to have kids, you wanted to raise it outside Dublin.
Yeah, that's because I don't want them living in my house forever. I want them to move out eventually.
Yeah, fair enough,
Like
man.
if I lived in town, my kids would hang around until like fucking 30s or so. Like, no, you guys have to go.
No, like, out, motherfucker. Yeah. You have a
Get the
CV
fuck
now,
outta
so
here.
please exit my crib.
I like community. Yeah, it's like the guy club at school. Everyone knows each other. In like.
But there's mad communities in the inner city, like, that are fucking as tight knit as any community.
No, definitely. I just think I think it's something that might be harder to access. Like I've been living in Dublin now like near 2 years, and it's like each place I lived, I haven't really known my neighbors like that. As opposed to like when I lived in Manute, when I lived in Kill, it was not everyone.
I think it's a new thing because we don't know any of our neighbours really. The gaff that's been next to us has been empty for 5 years, which is like
Terrible.
unbelievable. But also handy because it's not a bad neighbour. It's not a good neighbour. It's no neighbour.
I mean, terrible in terms of what it says about
100%.
landlords.
And then I have a
like
next door
that kind of
neighbour,
shit.
and she's bang sound. I've had absolute ragers in my house, and she doesn't give a rat. And like these are terraced houses, you know. But like when the first lockdown hit, I was like, all right, well, like we have like a north facing front door, so I was like, I'm gonna get that sun in the morning, and I'm gonna sit and eat my breakfast out on the street and like see people and say hello. Like I didn't know these people, and for the most part, some of my neighbours were like really nice. A lot of them like this side, but a lot of them are fucking assholes, man. And
Yeah.
like they
What-
just like
what
didn't
way?
want to. It's just like, what the fuck you doing outside? And I've bought a house in town, and da da da. I've paid loads of money. I'm like, hold on a minute, motherfucker. You believe the real estate agent that said that this gaff is worth that? It's not. I've lived here for 5 years, and I'm not paying what you're paying. This is a historically old working class community. Well, this the part that I would live in is like, and you just get all this fucking like. And then at Christmas time, I was there because obviously I couldn't go up and see my mum and dad around like that, and like all the cars are gone. So nobody's from where I'm living. Do you know what I mean? You have to find a good mix of like people being from where they're from. Like obviously I live in the most gentrified area in Ireland.
And that's a problem where it's like people who are from that, and then like rich niggas who are like, I was tricked into moving here.
Yeah,
you know,
and
I've
then
been
obviously
told
like,
something.
what do you mean? I live in the inner city and I have to deal with thousands of people walking by my house all day. It's like, that's the point of fucking living in town.
But you do. That's it. Look, and I don't know, maybe there's something about living in a city that makes people... Look, I'm going to say, and no attack, people in the city are meaner. I'm sorry. Someone says do a test. Walk down O'Connell Street and don't
No,
move for
O'Connell Street
anyone.
is
See people
different, bro.
move you.
O'Connell Street is different.
I just feel like if I always find myself like dipping and diving to move away from people, I'm like, I don't want to be bumping into no one. Just walk on any street in Dublin and don't move and see who moves to you. You're gonna be bumping into niggas. They're gonna be like,
Mate, I'm 6'3" with a gold tooth in a tracksuit.
yeah,
The
true,
majority
actually,
of people
yeah.
are getting on
They're
my
crossing
fucking
the street.
way,
They're
bro.
crossing the street to avoid you.
I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, if you bump me, it's like, all right, you know what I mean? Got that Hennessy rule. People just start bumping into you, see who's going to fight you, you know what I mean? You drink it up. Oh, shout out Hennessy, but not really though, because Dublin whiskey's bad.
No, not really.
Not really though.
Hennessy, are you paying for the shout out?
No, they're not.
That's what
No,
I
they
thought.
really
That's
are
what I
not.
thought. How about you support creatives?
Exactly. And great whiskey distillers.
The taste of the city. I have no Dubliner here, but imagine this wasn't Coke and it was Dubliner. Is there anything you want to talk about? Actually, what time are we at? I feel like we've actually waffled so much. But because the thing is, we basically recorded a bunch of episodes in bulk, so we haven't spoken in like 3 weeks.
I don't know. Well, I got my second jab.
Okay. How you
You
feeling?
feared it? Oh, I got that life kicked out of me. I did.
Oh.
I was in bits for the morning. First one, dead arm, great. Second one, I woke the next day. Now I got on a Friday and I drank that Friday night. And when I was drinking, I could feel my forehead being warm. And I was like, oh, maybe this is the fever. This is really doable. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like,
It's just Pfizer, yeah?
yeah, second on the Pfizer Chiefs, bro.
I'm scared now, man.
Bro, just do it. No, I fucked up. I didn't have enough water, enough food, enough sleep, and I went on a session. And like, the difference on my first one and the second one. My first one, I went in and I wasn't my first one. I was like, yeah, how's it going? Like really, you know, happy and polite to everybody. Everybody was just stone faced, keep it moving, sanitize hands, keep it moving. And then I get the guy up at the. Have you?
I got one shot.
Where did you go?
I went to Swords.
All right. Did anybody do the Aviva?
You went Swords?
Swords, yeah.
Ah,
Nobody did Lansdowne Road. Right?
you
So
live in
go up.
Blanche, you have to go Swords?
Yeah, I don't know.
Weird.
But I get into the Viva and like I'm up in the main level or whatever like that, and there's like a lot of different like desks you go up to, like you're checking in at like an airport or something like that, and there's a guy and he's like, I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm waiting in this mad queue. I'm like, how's it going, man? And this young fella, oh my god, now he's young, small, red hair, glasses, and he's wearing an Ice Cube t-shirt, and I'm thinking,
So it's mini
buzzer,
you.
let's go. A whack haircut though, so it wasn't like a young mate. You know what I mean? Like,
Young, you had a whack haircut, though.
no, but this is like an Ed Sheeran haircut.
Ah.
Like intentionally bad haircut. Like I just had a bad barber.
Okay.
But I was like, hey, how's it going? He was like, hi, how are you? I was like, yeah, good. Have you had COVID in the last 4 months? I was like, no. I'm like trying to get a crack of him. Thanks. And he wouldn't even look at me. I was like, oh, like a t-shirt, bro. And he's like, and just like kind of gave me the lip smile. I was like, all right. Anyway, must be having a shit day. So I'm like, fuck this, I'm waiting another queue, blah, 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 blah. And I get up to the fucking nurse and the one's like, all of a sudden, like the people more towards the needle are getting sounder. They're like, yeah, all the way through. And I'm like, lovely, buzzers are up the top level, let's get it, right? And your one's like, you're number 22, and I was like, sound lovely, and I click on my heels, I go down, and she's like, waves me in, and she's like, and she has this accent that people use to take the piss out of this accent. I didn't realize people actually talk like this. So I was like, hey, how's it going? She's like, hello, sit down there now, please. I was like, all right. And I was like, oh, what's the story? And she was like, now, what's your phone number, please? Yeah, and just was not having any fucking crack off me. And I was dying for a little giggle. I was dying for a bit of buzz, like. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is a big moment of my life. This is a big moment of my life, bro. This is like a fucking huge human event in history. And this, I'm always going to remember the first time I got my vaccine. So I'm like trying to like make a good day of it. Plus, she's been working here all day, seeing so many people. And if you, I always find when you come in with a good buzz, you give them a good buzz. And it's like, you're doing something nice for people. I'll try and give you a better fucking 5 minutes of the day. Fuck it.
Okay.
Hadn't a fucking bar off this woman. She was like, roll up your sleeve, boom, get the fuck out. Basically, I was snapping. Second vaccine, oh my god, bro, it was the crack central. It was like walking. It was like that. It was like walking in. Do you know that scene in Goodfellas? He walks in. It was like, hey, hey. I was like, yeah, bro. I was like a rap video. I started seeing other people I knew. I was like, yo, Jordan, what's happening, bro? First or second? He's like, second, man. I was like, let's get it. Everybody fucking nearly high-fiving each other going in. Went up to the fucking counter. I was like, hey, how's it going? He's like, do you want a badge? I was like, I do. He goes, go on, get that on you, son. I was lit. So I'm like, yeah, lovely. Now, it's a Friday afternoon. Maybe it was the difference. I was like, what's the story about that? And he was like, yeah, cool, no worries. He was like, best it up, bro. Hope you feel all right. I was like, nice one, man. Up the stairs again, your one's like fucking just leading people through like they're jumping out of a helicopter. She's like, number fucking 12, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Everybody just dipping off, and I walk in, your one's like, hell yeah, and I was like, yes, I got a fucking buzzer. I was like, what's the story? So I was sitting down, she's like, you alright, yeah, have you got this? And you know, how have you felt in the first one? I was like, yeah, grand. She's like, on this your second one? Yeah. And she says, oh, I said, I'm dying to get this. And she said, oh, how come? And I was like, oh, all I want to do is see my dad. I just really want to hug my dad. And she was like, oh, blah, blah, talking about that. It's great, no worries, okay. And she's like, having a chat about my life, going, getting the name. There was another girl there, take my number. And she was like, now this is going to be pretty much, most people have a feeling of like the worst hangover they've ever had. I says, I've been training for this shit my whole life. I was training for it last night. Let's go. I'm hanging right now.
Was it the worst hangover of your whole life?
No, I've had like, bro, it's me.
Light work.
But like, and then she lifts up my shoulder and she sees my Ronnie Drew tattoo. She goes, oh, who's that, Ronnie Drew? I says, yeah. And she goes, do you like Ronnie Drew, do you? And I was like, yeah, I haven't tattooed on my skin. It's not like I'm gonna get this Ronnie motherfucker.
Ronnie Drew prick. Anyways, here's my tattoo.
Yeah, straight up. I just love how he looks, but I fucking hate him. So she gave me the jab, on your way, boom, and I had a fucking fantastic weekend, and I had a few drinks, and then I woke up the next morning, and bro, I was like Ewan McGregor in the fucking train spotting in the bed. I was in rag order, fever, chills, but I got over it. I have a very fast metabolism, so just Panadol, water, a little Tom Hank. Do you know what I mean?
Did they inject you through Did they inject you through Ronnie? Like, did Ronnie get it?
Yeah. She was like, where do you want it? I was like, I don't know. In the eyeball, yeah. Hey, listen, bro. On my second one, I would have taken one through the toes at that stage. I would have taken an IKEA vaccine.
Here's a question for you.
Build it yourself. I would have taken the Deals vaccine, bro. Or the Aldi one, where it's not like called Pfizer, it's called like Phaser.
Yeah. Well, laser beam on it or some
the
shit.
laser vaccine, you know what I mean?
No, but here's a question, right? Because I think, what do you make of this whole thing in terms of, I think I was even saying, who was I speaking? I was speaking to Sophie before this, right? I've kind of noticed that you have more vaccine hesitancy amongst creatives. I'm starting to feel.
Yeah.
And what do you think about that in terms of moving forward? Like,
you're just gonna have to get it done.
And do you think that's okay? Like, are you for that in terms of, let's say...
it's a vaccine, bro. Do you know anybody with polio?
No.
Yeah, exactly. This is what they do, bro. Do you know what I mean? Well, they're trying to depopulate. It's like, okay, so everybody like me who's a sheep who takes the vaccine, they're going to kill me off. And they're just going to leave a lot of these hardcore rebels like, oh, I don't fucking take They're going to leave you guys around? No, they're going to get rid of you before they're going to get rid of me. He was like, yeah, I'll take the fucking vaccine. I don't give a fuck. Like, here's the thing. I get it. It's worrying. But at the same time, what the fuck do you know? Nobody is comfortable saying, I don't know anymore. I spent all of my biology class, and I think it's been long enough now that everybody knows I'm not the same. But I spent all of my biology classes in 6th year stoned out of my head, laughing with my best mate at the back of class. And you want to talk to me about variants, about a fucking bleeding, like, airborne vaccine and what it'll do to sociology and my body and all? No, I don't know. But I know medicine works. Because guess what? I've got flu shots. I've got vaccines before. Measles, mumps, rubella. Yeah, and guess, it's going to fucking get worse and all. It's like, yeah, because people won't do it. I think that the conspiracies are based sometimes on people. Here's the thing: bad things happen in life, in the earth, with global warming, with terror, with the fight, war against drugs, war against terror. This people who have loads of money will exploit it to make more money. They always do that. It doesn't mean that there's a fucking conspiracy to like Pfizer invented this shit so people would just fucking get a jab. It's like no, Pfizer were like, bro, it's us. Like, we're the ones who's gonna make that
We'll
shit.
make peas off that.
They all do that shit. I understand people, but people saying, I'm not getting a vaccine, fucking passport. Do you have a passport? It's the same fucking thing.
Niggas are like, do
you
your
pay tax?
research. I'm like, do
your
your research. We did an
Where?
arts degree
Facebook?
together.
Yeah.
What research?
Look
I
at you,
can't. I can't. Like, I feel like, the thing is like, and the thing is like, I love like there's so many TikToks of people like rebutting where it's like, hey, you're just using scientific words, but that doesn't mean what you said. That doesn't mean that. And it's like, do your own research. It's like everyone, like it can be like, do your own research and then like, hey, my opinion and feelings are valid. Your opinion and feelings are valid. Just don't say
100%.
scientific research.
But I don't
Be
have
like,
to care about it.
Look, I believe in God. God's not necessarily a logical concept. I'm not gonna be like, fucking sheep. You can't crack the code on God.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Oh man, and it's a big fucking. They are this exact same with those fucking atheists who are like, yeah, well, if God was real, blah blah blah. It's the same that attitude of like, and do you know what I think people are falling down like a lot of this rabbit hole because creatives are supposed to rage against the machine. It's our thing to poke the face in the government and being on the sides of the guards or the government kills you. Kills me anyway. I hate it because they are cunts and they do fuck up people's lives constantly. But a clock is right twice a day.
Excuse me.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you'll fucking have to side with that. At the end of the day, it's like it's fucking scientists telling me this shit. Somebody who studied it. All right, I don't go in if I call a plumber over to my house and he's fixing up my pipes and I go, well, actually, I was on YouTube earlier and your man did blah, 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 blah. Your man telling me to fuck off. But who the fuck's going to let me come round and fix their gaff because I looked at a few YouTube videos? No, I'm going to get the guy who did a trade in learning how to fucking fix pipes. Do you know what I mean? Like,
See,
trust people who know what the fuck they're talking about.
That's it, because even me, like, I never even saw it as like a government thing, right? Because the thing is, the government, if it was ethical, would have let everyone else die and made money. That's the bottom
100%.
line.
They're keeping us alive so we will spend more money.
I have trust in terms of the minute they start giving white people this shit and wealthy white people this shit, I'm like, oh, this shit's good.
Yeah.
This is a good shit.
Yeah.
This is a kosher
I
shit.
get the hesitancy in like minorities and stuff like that because of like historical abuses within like testing medicines and stuff like that. 100% I have to understand that. But you're right. Once the big dogs are taking that shit.
Oh man. Once the whites are taking it, it's good shit.
Let's get it.
The rich, like, listen, like for me, it's like there's nothing you convince me, right? That if rich white people are taking this is dangerous. No way in hell, man.
Really? You're gonna get Botox?
I might just do. Oh, quick tip for Botox: you do it before there's a problem, not after the fact, right? People keep on doing like same way. If you see your hairline receding, go deal with it. Don't wait till you're bald, try and get hair back. You can't do it. My shit was pushing back. I started taking Regain. Shit started pulling back down again.
Does Regain work?
Oh, no, but you have to do it.
I thought it was
you
like
have to
clear
do
cell.
it.
They're like, yeah, we get rid of your spots, but you know what I mean?
No, you gotta do it before the. Oh, but
Is it?
even the spot shit. Let me
Fuck
tell you.
that shit, bro. I'm going Turkey. I'm getting my
let me tell
shit
you something.
lined up. I'm gonna get 3 heads, not even a 4 head.
Dude.
3 heads. Did you ever see Frisco from BDK? Did you ever see his hairline? Like you, bro. You got a fucking staunch hairline, bro. That thing's like.
It's nice. It's
It's
nice.
lined.
It
It's
is
symmetrical.
nice,
It's something I watched
But
that
he
thing.
spent his years doing braids and shit, man. He did braids like
Because he didn't fuck with the magic.
Nah, he's right.
You're right, bro.
He's right. He's right, boss. No, our drummer Aaron is legit going to Turkey. Like his shit started going when he was like in fucking 3rd year in secondary school.
Bro, I'm getting my teeth done, my hair done. I'm coming back.
Nails did, hair done. What's
Fucking
up?
everything, man. If I'm going, I'm getting the full wax, the full up and down wax.
But can I say, outside of your wax,
You're judging me.
one of the dangerous things is because the problem is because I like you have to believe scientists because the issue is right in terms of if you because I'm not opposed to conspiracy theories. And conspiracy theories have been proven to be right. The issue is
Yes.
you're asking a bunch of people to coordinate a lie across nations that don't fuck with each other, and becomes more difficult to do. So my thing is, look, if you told me that Pfizer, one singular company, was like, I want to make as much money as possible, I'm going to manufacture this thing or put a chip in this thing or whatever. You talk about competing companies, independent researchers, independent universities. It's too many people having to lie for it to work.
It's like chemtrails. It's like not everybody who flies a plane is all keeping stum about this
the
thing.
Earth's flat. So wait, everyone's lying. People can take drones up there. Everyone's just lying. Now my problem is it's a slippery slope, because if you can believe that, look, medical professionals, the medical community as a whole, the majority of them are lying to you. The vast majority are lying. Why believe in global warming? Why believe in anything scientists say? Because I think it was a lot of people like, we need to do something about global warming, the new EPA report. And scientists said this. You said the vaccines were fake. You said scientists were lying there, but they're saying the truth here. Why believe
But there's a lot
anything?
of that, like, I'm just confirmation bias of going, that's how I feel, so I'm going to Google the thing that says that I'm right. Which is how I win my debates here, of course. But, like, when it comes to, like, I don't know, keeping vulnerable people alive, I'll probably go with, like...
Yeah, man.
People who are there. Do you know what's mad? You always see at these fucking marches and all that shit, like anti-vax, like teachers against vaccinations. You never see like A&E nurses against vaccinations down there. Do you know what I'm saying? You never see like actual fucking like nurses being down there like, yeah, it's all bullshit, guys. Don't worry about it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
man, yeah, I think there's such a weird
I think honestly, people need to
misinformation.
just like,
Crazy.
you can have an opinion, but your opinion doesn't matter as much as somebody who has a fucking doctorate degree in the thing you're talking about. Like your man in The Offspring got kicked out of the band because he wouldn't get a vaccine, the drummer. And the fucking main singer has like he's a professor in fucking molecular biology. Imagine that conversation. He's like, yeah, I just don't really think the vaccine's going down. He's like, well, you're getting it. Because like I have a professorship in this shit. And that's what you're arguing against, is somebody who 100% knows how to do something, against somebody who's just like, just bad vibes, bro.
Vibes off.
Get over yourselves. It's ego. The problem is, the last 10 years, our pockets have had a thing that have said to us, what do you think? And it gives us tiny serotonin hits over the last fucking 10 years. Every time you say your opinion, or you start following, you start making echo chambers online, I say, I think this is this. And people go, yeah. And I get those little hits off it.
Look.
Now you go, well, my opinion means something because I'll tweet about it and fucking 3 people retweet it. So
Too many people have podcasts. You're right.
Exactly. But did they get sponsored though?
No, they do podcasts for free.
Exactly. Suckers.
No, but I think you're absolutely right in terms of I think people think sometimes this shit's like a fucking you know what else it is as well, right? And this is maybe the problem. A lot of us, like me and people I know, went into degrees and like went to study where shit was subjective. You study English, subjective. You study law, even law is subjective. Things like science, though, it's not subjective.
It's an accurate science.
No, that's the thing. It's like
it is, or
and
it
it's
isn't.
not like accurate. It's like
They're called laws.
99.999%. Like we're not like, for example, we have like rules of how gravity works. We have like idea like, look, we're almost certainly sure. We're not 100% sure.
Yeah.
In terms, but we're like pretty much it's basically 100%. But I think it's almost a thing of like, look, if my opinion on a movie is valid, and my interpretation of this novel is valid, then for my interpretation of the situation is valid. It's like, not necessarily, because it's not a thing of opinion. It's just like what the actual hard facts are, you know?
People aren't allowed to call themselves like a tick anymore. I'm just people like, oh, what do you think? Like, I don't fucking know, I'm an idiot. I'm allowed to say I'm an idiot.
Every time about Afghanistan now, and I legit asked Sophie this, I'm like, wait, so, because the whole thing happened in Afghanistan, I'm not fully informed on it, but like my understanding of it was like people were asking the U.S. to leave. The U.S. for years now, which they shouldn't have been, they exasperated the issue.
For a while.
The U.S. withdraw and now the Taliban are taking back over. Now people are like, they want the U.S. to intervene. I don't understand it. It's more complicated than that, of course, but I'm cool to be like, I don't
get it. I'm just going to read the news from places that I trust and see how it goes on. That's it. Just like, I'll try and read a book on something now and then.
That's it. Like,
but for the most part, I'm fucking hard to do.
I don't know how to solve the fucking Palestine-Israel thing. I know why I think it's wrong. I know why I think people are doing an abuse of power where you're going overboard beyond like fucking protecting yourselves. I know when you're like, if you're looking at the map of a country, if it's shrinking year by year, something wrong is happening.
Fix it. How?
I don't know how to solve it. I'm not too prideful to be like,
about a fucking vaccine, bro.
You know what I'm
here's
saying?
the mad thing, like they were warning about this thing for years as well. Like years ago, they were like, yeah, there's going to be like this big thing, and they don't even think that this is the big thing. They were like, this is like...
I hope it's a fucking big thing.
Bro, just take me out if it's another one. Do you know what I mean? I don't give a fucking bleeding bollocks. If it's the big one, go for it. I'm with it. I'll go with all the gobshites that don't wear masks. Fuck it.
Oh, dude, like my
Me
thing
and
is,
Ben Gilroy, R.I.P.
if they don't open up fucking venues soon, man, I might be with them anti-vax niggas. Like, yeah, man, it's a
I know,
hoax.
and here's the thing.
It's a hoax.
Here's this thing about the anti-vax shit as well. When people start fucking saying it to me, it's like, I haven't seen my fucking dad for 2 years. I haven't worked for 2 years. I have a fucking right to be angry. You, because you want to have a fucking pint inside, need to get the fuck over yourself. Really and truly, you need to fucking get over yourself. Times are fucking tough. Shit happens to good people. It's what you fucking make of it. I have a right to be pissed off, and I'm fucking tucking it and doing the work.
Yeah,
Do you know, you
I-
get out of
yeah,
bad
firm,
situations, you fucking get the head down and you help each other out. Instead of fucking sitting there going, bro, look, do your research, news for all Ireland. Fucking morons, man.
Nah, for real. I think my friend Sophie, like, legit, was like arguing with a friend about it. And a friend's like, I also know Sophie's like,
And they're
Mike,
playing on people who are worried about the world.
she's
man.
like, my granddad died from this. I'm not debating this with
No.
you. My granddad's in the fucking dirt.
Two of my
It's
uncles
not back
are
and
dead
forth. It's
from
not
this.
back and yeah. It's not back. We can't have a back and forth
Yeah.
if people I know is dying. Suck my dick.
yeah.
It's
Were you
not a
telling me like
conversation
my
we
uncles
have.
just faked their death?
Like, nah, it's like, yeah, it died, but here's my how I feel. Fuck your
Somebody said that to me,
feelings,
bro.
man.
I would punch the fucking soul out of you. and he says
My
that
thing's,
shit to me.
I don't want anyone to be forced to do nothing, right? I don't think no one should be forced to take a vaccine. But I do think, like, look, in your own country, I think if you're, like, I think you should be allowed into your country, you're a citizen there, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
If the states don't want to let you in, good. If Spain don't want to let you in, good. I'm not going to argue your case that these countries
But
should
like,
let
there's
you
loads
in.
of fucking countries you can't go to anyway if you don't have shots.
Like, you were what? You were at, was it
Malaysia.
Malaysia, exactly. Like,
I don't know if that was enforced, but it was more like, yo, you need this or else
You
like,
need your
will
shots
be,
or
you'll be
you will-
sitting on a toilet for like 2 weeks.
even the same with y'all, man. You had to get a vaccine, right, when you head over to...
Oh, yeah, I got
Yeah, and that kicked the life out of me. But also as well, like people are like, oh, I'm not wearing this fucking mask and all. It's like, what? It's a fucking piece of cloth over your face. It's a cloth over your face. Have you ever tried to go into a bar without a shirt on? And they go, get out. And have you ever been like, well, it's not how I feel. I have an exemption because my nipples get fucking hard on my fucking t-shirt. Like, shut the fuck up. Put a fucking shirt on. If you want to get topless, do it outside, motherfucker.
Do you think EP should have happened?
No, we're not there ready yet. We were too slow on the rollout.
Okay, but we're ahead of We're ahead of the UK now, and they're having
Yeah,
festivals.
just because your neighbour is fucking his life up doesn't mean you should. Freedom Day? Come on, dog.
Oh, freedom. What's freedom?
They had a thing in England where they're like, Corona's over, fuck it, Freedom Day. We're all just back out, no more rules anymore.
It's a look. I've been in my house.
Extremely British.
I've been in my house where
Isn't
I'm
it?
like,
So it's so like, yeah, we won, Churchill. It's like, no, you're fucking, like, your hospitals are full, man.
man.
Yeah. Like,
No, but look.
like
In
fucking
fairness,
flares in between their
in
arseholes.
fairness, EP's breakdown in terms of everyone here has to be double vaccinated. Everyone has to be tested before they come in. I'm like, no one can leave.
No, do you know what, bro?
I'm like, fair. It makes
I don't know.
sense.
I don't know.
I like that.
I don't know. In my gut, I was like, I don't know if we're there ready yet.
The name of this podcast, COVID, question mark, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's it.
I don't know.
Because my thing is, I was looking at like
Or Michael
the
Jackson is not
reasonings.
dead.
He might not be. Tupac's not dead.
He's not dead. He's in Cuba.
You know what's so fucked up? Our manager's kid, Oliver, was fully convinced excess testosterone was still alive. I mean, he was like, Daffy, I seen the videos like this. I'm like, this dude got shot.
Claptized.
He's
publicly.
finished. He's finished.
Yeah.
He's chilling with... Look, I'm not going to say he's there. He might be dead.
I'm
not gonna
saying
say
he might be a
nothing.
little warm right now.
He's somewhere. You know what I'm saying? I'm not wishing hell upon
Hey,
nobody.
listen, I read those reports too, and I'm like,
But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Like, if God isn't feeling merciful, I don't know what to say. What am I going to do?
I don't know if I'm gonna go.
You know what? I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to heaven, but I don't know about you.
I don't know.
I don't know what your situation is.
I feel like there's better music in the other place.
Good, enjoy it. I don't need music. Let me tell you right now.
okay.
I don't need none of that, bro. I don't need none of that shit,
Yeah.
bro. I'm ready for the garbage.
Yeah, maybe I'm not thinking. I'm like
Yo.
have like a whole little Nicky vibe going on in my head.
Yo, Christian rock all day. Let's fucking go.
POD, heaven is a half pipe.
That's all I
Wagwan.
need, man. Man, I like that though. I think people need to say, I don't know more.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to touch on before we get into debate?
No.
Is there anything topical we should touch on? We just rambled on about COVID for ages, which I think is
Eventually.
long time coming.
Yeah. It's like how you just avoided talking about Brexit for years with people. I was just like, how long can I go without mentioning Brexit?
I was loving Brexit. I was like, yo, turn
I know,
up.
I was loving it. No, it's amazing. It's like watching somebody punch themselves in
That
the face.
empire's gonna fall apart.
So much. Oh, it's like wet cake. I'm delighted for them. Chuffed.
You know what's funny is I think Irish people are really the most lucky of white people in a way. And let me
Bro, we're
explain
spicy
why.
white. We're
You're,
spicy
you're not
white.
spicy. There's no spice.
Oh, no.
The spice is salt.
Exactly. No.
Fuck out of here.
Black pepper. Yeah, mustard. Bro, I swear to God, right? There's a fucking corner shop around my way. It's a Pakistani corner shop. And these guys love tea. Every time she comes in, would you like a cup of coffee? How are you? What's the story? Living there for years we are. Every time I go in,
Pakistanis are the best.
every time I go in, gawking me over. Hey, how's it going? What's the story? Not having about me. Then I go in and fucking what's the name of it? What's the Muslim feast? It's the feast. It's just recently.
Fucking hell.
Eid Mubarak, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Eid Mubarak. It was coming up, right? And I seen the homie in the fucking shop. And he had like the ginger in the hair because I think he'd been to Mecca recently or whatever like that, blah, blah. And this is the old Donny. Never says a fucking bar to me. My board, it's like, it might as well be his own daughter. Right? And I says, happy Eid Mubarak, you know? I was like, having a good feed tonight. And he just like, obviously, man, he's like his head turned and went, oh. Yeah, cheers, man. All right, cool, no. Every time I go in, how you doing, bro? You good? Yeah, you busy today or not? It's all it took. It's all it took was just a little bit. So I'm saying, man, making the extra effort.
It's a little bit of connection. No, I was going to say, because I was talking to Phil about it, right? And our manager is this, like, really, really posh British sounding fella. Like,
Yes.
we always take the piss out of him. I was sitting down, I'm like, so Phil, tell me, man, you're a Brit, right? And he's like, yeah. It's like, how do you feel about your nationhood, right? Because I always feel for Americans in the 4th of July, because like you might have this country that you love and you grew up here, it's made the person you are, but it has all these fucked up things that come with it that you guys are guilty of. I think Ireland's great because this nationhood is separate from any atrocities that y'all have committed.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
as a nation.
So it's like it's so easy to be a proud Nigerian or a proud Irish person because you don't have to factor those things in. But to be, let's say, American politician loves America and wants to improve the country.
You have to like ignore like all the shit to be like, America.
But you shouldn't be. But it's the thing of like when you like, because if you're conservative, whatever, you think, look, the time was the time, whatever. You can ignore it. But if you don't want to ignore it, but also love your country, it puts you in this weird spot. So I was asking him, like, how do you feel about British statehood and nation and everything? You know, in terms of like what you guys have done, and also, and he's saying basically, look, I'm from this place, and I love England, and I love the UK, and it's made me the person I am. Like, it's positive experiences. But he's like, but also, living in Ireland, in the UK, it's easier to forget about and not address. But in Ireland, it's a lot harder to kind of forget that kind of history there, you know? And he's like, it's a tricky thing, because he's like, the England I love is the England of today. Then I'm like, yeah, but what about, you also got like, who's in power right now? The Conservatives, what's the niggas called? Tories and all that kind of shit. And he's like,
Boris Johnson.
And it's similar to what you said when we had the Dublin versus Cork debate. He's like, those aren't my people.
Yeah.
I haven't seen those people.
Yeah.
Where I'm from, like, because it's all that kind of Liverpool, Brighton type of vibe. It's like, it's funny because like a lot of England, let's say Liverpool, feel like how the Scots do about the rest of their country.
Liverpool, honestly, genuinely feel like it's a different country over there. Honestly. They fucking hate England.
And I just think it's so, I would hate to have...
full of paddies. That's why.
Vibes, man.
Spicy white.
The vibes was right. Not spicy
salty whites.
The spicy white is the Estonians, man. They're the real spicy whites.
Yeah,
bro.
right, okay.
They got the real culture, you know what I'm saying? A little bit of this. But I don't know. I just think it's a real complicated thing, you know?
To be English.
To be English and not be
we have our own thing though. Irish people are a bit too in their own history though at the same time. Do you know what I mean? It's all you ever fucking learn about. It just informs everything we do, how we vote, how we judge other people. It's all down to fucking.
But Irish history is still so. It's so recent. Here. Like you talking about like England when you're like learning about this shit. They're like, yes, we had this nigga Henry VIII, this 100 many years ago. We did this,
and then we beat the Nazis.
Irish history is like.
Yeah.
Well, the 1900s, like 1900 to now.
Yeah.
Like that's what we focusing on.
Some Brit came over, took
on.
Our food, kicked your man. And he's been doing it ever since. And then Michael Collins came around and fucking shot a load of boys. And now we have the North.
Which reminds me, Michael Collins from Cork. Just
Yeah,
saying.
I'll give you that, bro.
just
I'll
saying.
I'll give you that. That was straight.
The Model Core people were like, you did good, but here's why you should really kill them. They were like giving me bullet points.
Of
I'm
course.
like, damn, man. They really like let me on next time. Do a part
Exactly.
2. We might do a part 2. I think there's talks of like we'll talk about this off air. There's talks of like a Christmas edition of this, like a one back.
Yeah, I'm with it.
But we like we said, we only have 12 episodes, so this is like the
Ninth?
the pardon? 9. This is 9th one, so we only have a couple left. Then we're done.
We're in the winter of our relationship here.
All right, boys, but let's go into
The Bastion.
the debate. We're back.
One hit wonder time, baby.
And you want to go first?
Okay. Well, I'll contextualize this because
Please do.
it's the fucking greatest song ever. It's not even just like one hit wonder. There's never a time I don't want to hear this song. It is perfection. It is amazing at karaoke. You could play this at Notting Hill Carnival and it would fucking go down a mental. You could play this at your fucking mommy's 60th and it would lick off. You could play this to toddlers. It's just a great song. It has all that incredible intro. It has a 7-minute mix, which is even better. It's just peak 90s R&B. And it's from a fucking UK lad. And what I'm going to go for is Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac. Bro, his voice is just so unique. He comes in with that big wailing note at the start, and then he has the call and response into it. And it's just, I honest to God think that Return of the Mac has just had so much, everybody I know knows it. Everybody I know loves it. Nobody's like, oh, fucking hate that song. And it still sounds fresh. Like if somebody could release that song today and you were like, yeah, it makes sense. It's a timeless record made by a guy I've never heard of again. When I was, when did it come out? I would have been quite young. But there used to be a TV show by, it was called TGI Fridays, right? And what was that ginger fella, Marty Piper? What was his name? With the glasses, tried to do Top Gear. I remember once I was...
I was watching anime, bro. I know none of this.
I remember I was calling for my cousin in a flat in Ballymun and a guy called me this name and also punched me again. I think I told this story again. I was just... Yeah, he was just like, yo, you look like blah, blah, blah. Chris Evans. He was like, oh, yo, you look like Chris Evans. I was like, who's that? And he was like, yeah, you look like Chris Evans. And then I got into my thing and he just beat the shit out of me. But
Damn.
yeah, he's horrendous looking as well. Like, there's like no guy with red hair and glasses. I'm like, they're like, hey, you look like such and such. So I'm like, sound, thank you. That's a compliment. Everyone else is just like fucking horrific looking. And I can say that, Daffy, yeah? Look at him. Look at the head in this fella.
Oh, God.
And even in the 90s, it was rough, bro, rough. But he used to have this TV show called TGI Fridays, right? And he was in a small room like this with a desk, and then somebody like Liam Gallagher come up. Sean Ryder from the Happy Mondays is still barred for life from Channel 4 from being on this show. And then outside of it was like the green room, so a load of people in there, and they'd have chats. It was all a bit messy, and then it would go outside, and it was in a venue, and then the musical act would go out and actually play a gig to the fucking crowd, right? And it was all like drinking pints and having the crack and blah 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 blah. And Mark Morrison had released this thing, but at the time, Mark Morrison was in prison because he was a bit of a ball boy, right?
What's he in prison for?
I don't know, maybe drugs or some shit like that. And funnily enough, actually, when this kicked off, he tried to get an impersonator to go to prison for him. And your man got sent in.
Why is that fucking genius?
He was like, I got #1 record. I got to go out here, do all these shows, blah, 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 blah. Yo, I'm in fucking prison. I'm going to make the bag with this money. You just do that little 9 stretch for me, mate.
How long was it, do you think?
I don't know, a couple of months or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
And he got caught?
Well, we're like, yo, you're not Mark Morrison, because Mark Morrison is on like fucking The Big Breakfast Show like right now. So we need to go find that guy and swap him out.
Oh,
so he got.
Did he get like in and then got caught like a couple of days later?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But the thing is, like,
It's before the internet, bro. There was not like fucking. There was no like fingerprint scanners and shit like that. They were like, all right, I guess, man. So he went in, and then they found out, and then Mark Morrison got thrown in jail.
Probably added some time as well for trying to have a impersonator.
Yeah, pretty much. But the song was licking off. It was really big. And then the day he was getting out, right? Did you ever watch Alan Partridge, the first episode of his, where he's like, Roger Moore is on the way to the studio, and like the whole episode, he's like, he's on the M25. He should only be 20 minutes, right? So that's what they were doing with Mark Morrison. He got out of prison, and they had a film crew there, and they had 2 boards with 2 bottles of fucking champagne, and they got into a fucking limousine, and they were like, every like 5 minutes in the show, they're like, we're just gonna check on Mark Morrison. He's like in the back of the limo, like, yes, bro, unreal, I'm out the nick, let's go. And he gets, and there was like a live, Mark Morrison, he's just coming into, Channel 4 now, blah, 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 Granada TV or whatever they were. And he comes in, he walks into the fucking venue, the camera's behind him, and he comes out and he lands this song. And I was like, bro, that's real. He got, like, this is the 90s, bro. Nobody was doing shit like that. And I was like, that is the fucking coldest shit I've ever seen in my life. This guy is like a real life hero. Like, everyone's like, yo, you're out of jail, and we want to hear that amazing song you do. So, Return of the Mac, I remember being pissed at one of my cousin's weddings. And the DJ was real like, ladies and gentlemen, the buffet is open now, with the owner of a Ford Focus 740, one of them DJs, like legendary stuff, but he was slacking. And people were kind of falling away from the dance floor, and I was there dancing with my boy, and I was like, bro, Return of the Mac, Bobby Brown, let's go. Well, not Bobby Brown, Return of the Mac, it's not Bobby Brown, it was Mark Morrison. And I was like, Mark Morrison, Return of the Mac, and he was like, and he played another song, and like a couple of people more like fell off the stage, and I was like, me, Turn of the Mac, right? Obviously there's dun, 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 dun. You want to see it was like a fucking 100-meter dash from all my cousins hopping over tables, backflipping, all that stuff, to get onto the floor and dance and sing. And it's just as far as a one hit, like there's loads I could have picked here. Baby Cakes,
so many,
you know what I mean? Like
Hot Nigga,
we'll see.
No, he's got more hits.
He's got more hits. T2, Heartbroken, a lot of dance music, a lot of one-hit wonders. Do you know what I mean? Saturday Night. There's a lot. If I feel like a one-hit wonder needs to be a great record, but a little bit cheesy, that it cuts culturally. Do you know what I mean?
That's the argument?
I feel Mark Morrison is, for me, why I love that shit. It's eternal for me, and there's never a time I don't want to hear it. It's a great record. It didn't rely on like novelty or anything like that. It doesn't sound dated. It's still great. And that's why I think it's great. My favourite.
I think my thing is going to be no one about respectful debates. Respectfully.
Yo, ma, respectfully.
Let me see that ass, ma, respectfully.
Respectfully.
No, because my thing is, I had a real hard time picking this because I was thinking of, for 2 reasons. First of all, niggas who usually have one hot song have a kind of other hot song.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a problem where...
Because the label's always like, nah, come on,
we'll get you
one more. I'm going to bring everybody in the studio. Yeah.
When you're on top of the world, you might not reach the same
top
heights.
Top of the world. Sorry.
I can't stop doing it. So I wanted to go initially with fucking Hammer Time, right? Just because I think...
Not a one-hit wonder.
Look, I think we'll let... Because then again, what's a hit? Like, because we need to
Too Legit to Quit is a hit, and so was the Addams Family rap at the time.
At the time, you gotta be a hit at the time. Like
at the time, it was the start of the time. Was these gigantic trousers?
But here's what I say, because I was going to pick in terms of what I thought was the best song, right? But I think it goes back to the title, right? It's like the definition of the thing, one hit wonder, which is to say you had massive impact once, right? You made something great once. And
I have something that will add to that, but go ahead.
Oh no, bet. So my thing is, I picked a song that was both a one-hit wonder, but kind of contradicts what the title means. As in, like, you had this impact once. You did this thing once. So I'm picking Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby for 2 reasons. They're going to kill me, man. They be killing me, but they're not educated.
But what we would say is, yo, stop. Collaborate and listen. Okay. Ice is back on a brand new... Sorry,
actually, 3 reasons. First reason, he's a white rap god. Mango wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Vanilla Ice. We wouldn't have none of these niggas, bro. Jesus. But look, in a way of like breaking down racial barriers.
No, Beastie Boys.
I think it's probably before
Beastie Boys were like, when they started Def Jam.
Someone look at... you said the thing, and this is amazing. I think, can you check when, because someone said when BC Boys came out and when fucking Ice Ice Baby came out. This is why it's really important. Because I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, I'm kind of sure. I'm kind of sure that Vanilla Ice came first. I could be wrong, right? But you have to ask yourself, actually no, let me not get there. I'm running ahead of myself. First of all, Ice Ice Baby, it's been done to death. I think it's been parodied to death. I think we've had the time of
Jim Carrey rinsed him.
Internet and looking back at it and jokes and him being super white and the dance and such a thing of his time. You're right. That Mark Morrison song is iconic till this day. But I would say Ice Ice Baby is a great fucking song. It's not better than that. I wouldn't be so rude. Don't fucking kill me. I'm not saying that.
It's a good tune, mate.
It's a great
It got
tune.
Craig David did. Where people laughed at it and just only remembered the joke when they heard it instead of being like, okay,
what Craig David song did that happen to?
Well, no, remember you got Bo Selector, where your man like, kind of nearly ruined his career by making a laughing stock out of Craig David, and then like he had to disappear and then do a comeback, and it was like, oh, that was terrible. We all laughed at Craig
Came
David.
back super buff.
Buff.
For no fucking
Jacked.
reason. But so on that alone, I think
to say that is that like when you take the joke away, that's actually a really good
it's a
rap
really
song.
good song, and it's like, and the rapping isn't garbage. It's like, it's almost a good indicator of like where rap would go in terms of, hey, it doesn't have to be all miserable. It doesn't have to be all very street. Because there were still rappers who were funny, right? But it was like, I think it was like, to me, because obviously rap started off like, I was in the park.
Yeah.
And then it went into like a little bit more gritty, and it's that kind of thing of, this is a idea of it also being kind of fun. So I think it's a good indicator.
It was coke rap instead of crack rap.
Yes. Best example.
Yeah.
Perfect example. But here's the thing. So here's the thing as well. There's a nigga who produced that song. Of all things, I believe his name was Magic Johnson. I think it was like, he was like something
Not
Johnson.
the Magic Johnson.
Not the Magic Johnson.
I was like, that is one talented man.
It was something Johnson, right?
Right.
But I think he was known as like Magic, so he's like something Johnson. They referred to him as Magic.
Okay.
He produced on it. So at the time, Suge Knight. If you know anything about hip hop,
Hip hop. If
real
you know anything
knowledge,
about the 5
back
elements
in
of
the-
hip hop,
we were in the
we
park.
were breakdancing, doing graffiti. And the fifth element, knowledge.
But he is
Yeah.
the original hip hop villain.
Keep that snorting, that was real.
Oh my god. So Suge Knight was trying to. He had basically started his label. It was like starting his label. He had forced Dre. He had forced Dre into it because he's been someone known to.
It was like NWA's like bodyguard, right?
Yeah, he basically is someone who was known for using violence and intimidation to get what he wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now this nigga Johnson had produced on Ice Ice Baby, this huge song. He wasn't getting any royalties off it. Suge Knight tried to have a conversation with Vanilla Ice 3 times. The first time Vanilla Ice was driving by, he tried to like get into the car, failed.
Bro, shouldn't I try to get into my car? I wouldn't stop.
Oh no, man, you're speeding off. The second time Vanilla Ice was trying to was having lunch in a restaurant, Suge Knight got past the security, tried to speak with him, was like, hey, you need to get this nigga royalties. Security came, ended all fine and good, nothing happened. The third time Suge Knight finally got
Dangle
to him.
time.
Vanilla Ice, whose real name is this really interesting German name that I can't pronounce or some shit like that, but it's very interesting. It's like Vanika Kruk or some shit. I don't know. Anyways,
Somebody Google it there real quick.
he was staying in a hotel, right?
No, I know he has a really white name. Like
No, it's not even white. It's like German. It's not even like the burbs.
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
It was Robert Matthew Van Winkle.
Van Winkle.
Oh, it's the Van Winkle that's throwing me off, man. Van Winkle?
Yeah.
Oh, he was,
It could be, I don't know if it's going to be
Van Winkle, bro.
German one.
okay. Anyways,
Dutch, if it's Van, anyway. So.
Anyway, so he was staying in this fucking hotel. Suge bust into a hotel room by a bunch of guys. Now, there's different let's say disagreements about what happened this evening, right?
Yes.
Now, Suge claimed I spoke to him politely, and he decided to give your man royalties in this song. He decided to give him the royalties he was owed. And Vanilla Ice says, yes, that's what happened, sort of, kind of. The story goes...
People in the room were like, that's not what I saw.
The story goes, they had a conversation in the balcony. They came back, and Vanilla Ice decided to sign off royalties to the song, depending on how much. It could have been all. No one really knows, right? The thing is, the story goes, Suge tried to throw him off the balcony, had him over the edge, and it's like, I'm
Dangled him.
going to drop you. But here's a really interesting thing, because this is a huge song, a massive song at the time.
It was one of the first ones that went proper platinum
Of
for rap
course.
music. It was a record breaker. I know.
I wonder why. I wonder what elements.
I know, yeah. It has
that
that.
this guy had.
Yeah.
That made
the
it
reason
go
why
right.
Eminem went so well.
But this big,
Can't place my finger on it.
you got to think about a time that now to make a song and record an album is super fucking cheap in terms of like what it was before. To even get shit on like radio, to get shit like physical copies, you have to put seed money to get physical copies. So what happened was all the money from the Ice Ice Baby record was then used for Death Row, right? And then you had Death Row. I think it was either 6 months to a year after the royalties were signed over. You had Doggy Style, you had The Chronic, you had Tupac's album. It's like, so basically it's like the idea is that Ice Ice Baby, this song effectively funded all those initial Death Row albums. And there's a question there of whether or not you have had all of them, or at least in the time frame that you did, if they didn't have the money for Ice Ice Baby. So it's like, for once, the white dude was giving back in a way to the culture, and I mean to raise it up.
Yeah. Okay, so
So Vanilla Ice did what he had to do for the culture, and he helped us.
so he's technically the most giving back of all of the white rappers.
He might be the most influential rapper of all time. If you can make the argument that we might not have had Tupac, because you need money to get these things going.
And if Dre didn't go on that Whopper run, no Kendrick Lamar.
And it all goes right back to Vanilla Ice, which is nuts. So I think Ice Ice Baby, while a good song, the impact of it being a one-hit wonder, to me, has had more impact than any one-hit wonder should do. Because not only is it like a good song, but it's like,
It's a great story, but if you play that in a club now, people will be like, what are you doing, man?
I think people turn up still.
Stop,
Really?
Collaborate and listen.
Like, is people going to break it out right now? But if you play fucking Return of the Mac, it's a different vibe, I feel.
Nah, you play that at the right time, everyone is calm.
No, everyone's buzzing, but I don't feel like somebody's giving me a little wine.
Dude, the white's like, this is back when we were on top. Yes, stop.
Glory years, bro. This is from the highlight reel. Oh,
No,
bro,
but-
I tell you this, just from like fucking Ice Ice Baby, my mates used to run karaoke nights. His dad used to run karaoke nights, and he was like, we'll give you fucking pints if you all get up and sing at the start, because nobody wants to actually be the first guy. He says, get up there now. Your man, my mate Arrow, he had a great voice. His whole family were singers. He got up, his sister got up, Arrow's uncle got up, then Cleaner got up, and then I would get up, but I can't sing. So they were like, oh, but you're a rapper and all, yeah? So you need to rap. And they used to make me do Ice Ice Baby.
I bet you killed it.
Of course I did, right? But it's just like I didn't want to do that.
What would be your karaoke song?
It might be Return of the Mac, bro. Like, here's the thing. I've now been
You
like...
can't sing, boss.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't think karaoke's for good singers. If you come to a karaoke and you're like, oh, I'm going to do like Adele or Whitney Houston, and you nail it, fuck off, sit down. This is for people...
But you don't get why I hate breakdances.
What?
That's why I hate breakdances. We are in full
But
agreement.
like, you know what? Good point.
Thank you.
I would rescind that, but I'm not saying... I just feel like they add to an element of the club. I just feel like everyone has to sit down, and it's like... Shannon from Accounts is like the fucking greatest singer in the world. There was this girl in school who just was an unreal singer, but she only knew one song, and it was Arms of the Angel. And then like, every time somebody died, or like it was a fucking like anniversary
They
thing,
dragged her out to come do that.
out
one
comes Louise
song.
in the Arms of the Angel, Sarah McLachlan. Every time we were like, oh,
Shit,
my
I could have
God.
been somebody if I just stuck with it.
She just had that one tune, so I was like, I don't want to do karaoke with you, with her. I want to do karaoke with you. You can have karaoke tune, you put the fucking auto tune on, and you get fucking blind drunk in a fucking Chinese restaurant and get going. I don't want good karaoke.
I'm with you. I would do Hip Hop Police, Western Millionaire.
They don't have that, bro.
They do sometimes. You forget how
did-
big that song was. You keep on disrespecting Hip Hop
I know I was
Police.
there,
I
bro.
don't like it.
Yeah. I did maybe do Crazy World by Aslan. Shut down. End of the night, full of pints. Crazy World?
What about what's that one by Lamar? Been a long time, said you miss me.
Lamar from Blue.
Yeah.
Oh, bro. He was amazing. And another person who wouldn't have came without Mark Morrison. Mark Morrison was a big thing for black British R&B to be a thing. And he was very influential.
I didn't even know
in that
Mark
thing.
Morrison was black. I won't lie to you.
What?
I didn't know. I've never seen him.
Yeah.
I've only like seen the name and heard the song. Look, that's the debate. I think you're fully right in terms of your song is better. I just think if a one-hit wonder is kind of both.
You think that's given more?
It's given more than what a one-hit wonder should
It's
do.
more of an iconic
like
song.
that nigga like that goes to somebody I used to know. He did nothing else, forgotten dust. It's
Would you love to have one though? Would you love to have a one-hit wonder?
no, drive me crazy.
Would it?
Drive me.
Do it a tune?
But
it would just pay for the gaff, like, forever.
Yeah, but if you're a musician, I would much rather be like an indie dude who never like becomes a millionaire, but
Like a
is
working class
consistent,
musician. Yeah.
than to be like you taste something that you can never attain again. That'd drive me fucking nuts. That'd drive me like. I think also like so many artists are so lucky in terms of like even like let's say your stream numbers. It's like you have bigger songs, but they're all like in the same range.
Bracket, yeah.
There are people who have like a song that's on 900,000 streams, the next biggest is 40,000. That would drive me fucking nuts. No,
yeah.
it's so frustrating.
Especially in what we do, everything has to be bigger and better, and if you don't, you feel like a failure instead of being like, that one just hit off, man.
You feel tense. I have not done something huge in like near a year now, and it's starting to stress me out.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you do South by Southwest. Doesn't matter if you do Eurosonic. Doesn't matter if you do get this movie, get this ad. It's like you feel like I need to have a bigger number than my last number, or I'm a failure. So I think to have at least my biggest number isn't like this infinite thing that's impossible to reach. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if it's this infinite thing that's impossible to reach, it would drive me fucking nuts.
I used to be like that, but now I really don't care. I just want to make better work. Like the stuff I know, the stuff that I'm making now, and probably when this comes out, everybody will have heard it. Obviously, I feel it's not commercial. It's probably more accessible, because anything with my accent or my voice on it isn't really commercial, shall we say. But it's more accessible. But it's not out of like we're doing that because we need to like get more, go bigger, or anything like that. It was just like we like these records and we've always kind of wanted them, but we needed to make that album for us, and that was more priority, and we were in a darker place. And now I'm like, nobody needs really dark, horrible music at the minute.
No one's a bummer forever. I say as I release our darkest, I don't know if it's our darkest album.
Yeah, but you have to show the artist both sides of you. You can't just be like, Mr. fucking 305, party, without showing like the real life. Yeah. And then you can't also be Depresso Martini every fucking time you release a tune out. Do you know what I mean?
Honestly, like that, our biggest issue, as in like we've had so many like label conversations. It's like we like these three, but not these other four, because we always just do whatever the fuck we want. So it's like they might be like, we like these really poppy ones, but not these really rappy ones. Or we like these really indie ones, we don't like these really poppy ones. It's like, can you just do this? And it's like, well, no. It's like, well, we can't sign you. It's like, I don't know, man.
Fuck
but
the label.
That's it. Like, I think we've honestly, like, we've been so close to like 3 times with a major now, and they're like, hey, can you make Men Are Trash again and again and again and again? And it's like,
and then they milk you, and then you're not using you. Fuck up, nah, man. Just you have to show all sides of you. And you know what? This might be my worst performance stuff.
I think it's really good.
I really like it, and my friends really like it, and it's the shit I want to make right now. And guess what? If I have a fucking dud per se, I really like it. It makes me feel good, and that's why I fucking make this art. And I am very blessed with the life and the career-ish that I have out of this thing. That's a bonus to me. The fact that I get to make music that I in my head want to make is fucking thanks enough, really. And if it goes well, it doesn't. And you know what? I'll come back round to Casual Work Part 2. Fucking.
You'll be serious eventually, but have fun. Yeah, I like that. I like that you're like, look, we did our big artistic piece.
I've nothing else to pour out of my heart, bro. The last fucking year and a half, I've just been sitting in my fucking house.
You just want to turn up.
I just want to go to a fucking rave, and I feel like they're coming back. And I was like, I'm gonna soundtrack that, because I fell in love back with rave and garage music again, and that's what we're going for.
I'm very jealous in terms of sense that you get played in sessions in a way that like we never do. We get played when like I feel maybe white girls are doing coke. And it's like, that's lit.
What the fuck?
I think that's dope. I love that. I love our audience. I've never been complaining about that. But I remember I was legit at the canal one day randomly. Some fucking 19-year-olds decided to bust out, like 19-year-old Trinity kids decided playing like a that one something FM.
Oh, Don't Surrender FM.
Yeah.
Started whacking it out.
Whacking out by the canals. And I was like,
big up. Yeah, I think that's fucking amazing.
I think I feel this song is a lot more as well into that vibe. It's like this is the thing that people will play at sessions, play at parties.
That's what I want, man. I want people to have a
out.
fucking good time. It's literally called vibe. And that's the thing. I was like, with the lyrical stuff, I was like, you know what? I don't have to always be like fucking, like super fucking intricate. It's like, no, like sometimes that's not what the art calls for. It calls for fucking time, place, and occasion, and the tune's called fucking Vibe. It's Ron Seal, mate. Just fucking do as he says on the tin and get it right. You know my pen game is nice.
Yeah, man.
So sometimes I don't have to
It's not
willy wave.
everyday rap, which is funny because I'm at a stage now where I'm writing like a kind of solo thing as we finish this album, and it's just because I haven't been like, because obviously we're making kind of indie, kind of punk-ish stuff now, so it's like less so like rapping. So I'm just like legit like writing.
You need to
like,
get that rap thing off.
Yeah, and it's like because you have to kind of do what you need to do when you need to do it.
The yin and the yang, brother.
But look, let's hear a story. I think this is
So, I was a single young man out and about in the town, and I was working at the time, and I had this friend, let's call him Oisin. Oisin is about fucking 7'12". This fella is fucking huge, right? And he was like, hey man, how's it going? What's the story? But he'd fucking burn the bleeding ears off you sometimes. But he was so lovely. I got him to trainer culture. He was a really nice dude. So I said to him, what are you doing fucking Friday? He was like, nothing. I was like, oh, no, I'm not really out and shaking for my friends. I was like, come on, we'll go for a pint after work or something. He was like, yeah, do you know what? Because we're good mates. Like, and I was like, all right, we'll go out one night. So I was in my flat in Finglas, and he only lived up around in Cedarwood and Glasnevin. So I just walked up to his, had a few drinks, and we went into town. And we were kind of broke-ish at the time, so I was like, yo, we can get free at the Hangar. My mate Ed is on the door.
Oh, the Hangar.
Yeah, R.I.P. But my mate Ed was on the door, and I wonder why it closed down. I literally never paid into the fucking place. I was just like, hey, what's the story? 10
Good,
yeah,
good. Rappers shouldn't have to pay into things.
Exactly. Well, you know, I wasn't really popular at the time, but I agree.
No, even non-popping rappers. I don't want nothing.
Yeah, if you got Hot 16,
let me
free.
to Coachella for free. I don't give a fuck.
And Lewis's are all free.
Yeah, all Lewis's are free.
Yeah, of course. We can all agree.
I saw people checking on the Lewis today.
Yeah, you got to stop tweeting about this shit, guys, because a lot of people actually live like the Lewis is free.
No, you
and
should.
now you're blowing the spot up. And people who don't pay for the Lewis are now getting screamed.
Are they,
not saying I
Are they
don't
legally
pay for
allowed
the
to check on the Lewis? Is that something you can do?
Bro, have you never seen a big security guards now? They have like undercovers now.
Protection.
Wait, which one is them?
They have like undercovers now.
To make sure no one's doing drugs also.
Like that, and also like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? You like shows your ticket, and like they have undercovers as well who just pop up in fucking plain clothes and all.
What's a ticket?
Yeah.
You get tickets for planes. What's he talking
Yeah,
about?
yeah.
Lewis.
I've just been like,
Lewis
bro, are
ticket.
you a guard? No. Well, I'll fight you until a guard gets here, or you can just leave me alone. And they go, okay.
Yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. So I'm over his gaff, and we go into fucking Hangar, and it's dead. But I was having a buzz, and I was in free, and I was kind of drunk, and it was
That's probably why it closed down. Hangar was like empty a lot of the time.
sometimes, yeah. But then when had the big names, it was Ramo, right? But I think it was on like, it was early Friday, and I was like, maybe it's not time for Hangar yet. And I'm out the front having a smoke, and the Hair Square boys come up, and I'm like, oh right, what's the story, boys? And they're buzzing, they're having great crack. What's the crack? And they were like, yo, we just signed to Columbia fucking yesterday. I was like, oh, that's fucking sick, boys. Come in, get a drink. And the bouncer just goes, yo, no, they're not getting in. I says, what? He says, they're not getting in. I says, why not? He says, they're all too drunk. I was like, they're not drunk. They're buzzing. They just on the record deal. They're not drunk. He's like, yeah, no, they're too drunk. And I was like, I'm drunk. And I'm in this nightclub. Are you going to throw me out? No. I was like, what do you think people do in nightclubs? They get drunk. They're not too drunk. They clearly talk to me. And he's like, no, they're not getting in. I was like, I see what's going on here. Oisin, we're going. Fuck this place. We're out. So we end up going to the button factory. I'm like, oh, fucking, I'll talk and blah, blah, get into the button factory. And then I lose them. And then I'm with fucking Oisin. He's like, oh, I'm going to get a pint, man, blah, blah. And then I don't see him for like 10 minutes. I'm like, fuck, I'm looking over. And he's not a fucking set of car keys. Like, you can't fucking lose this fella. He's huge. Like, he's looking around. He's like, he's not here. I'm smoking there, nothing there, nothing there. I'm like, where the fuck? Now, prefix, the reason I've changed his name. Oisin may have ingested somewhat of a stimulant.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, Christ.
He may have had half of a Vel.
The body
shall
of
we
Christ,
say.
of course.
Yes, right? And I wasn't.
Okay.
He'd recently just found them, and he was like, these are amazing. These are the best things in the world. I was like,
It does be like that.
yeah, apparently I've heard. Yeah.
I'm a Christian. So
I don't know. Anyway, so I'm like fucking ringing. No fucking buzz. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this fella? Like, and I have 1% on my battery. I'm like, fucking where? And I'm in the, you know, the little dark kind of fucking entrance when you go into the main room of the butter factory. Instead of going down to the
butter factory. This is making me bummed out. I want to go out. Sorry.
I know, but like, so I'm sitting there, and eventually I was like, hello. I was like, where the fuck are you? Hello, bro. I'm in fucking Drumcondra. I was like, oh, what? I was like, I've 1% battery. Where the fuck are you? I was like, I got talking to these girls. I was like, gone. See you later, bro. Do you know what I mean? He's mad out of his head and fell into a fucking gang of boards.
Sounds
and
like
followed
butter factory, man.
And what am I gonna do? Give out them? Where are you? I got 1% battery. You're mad over it. So, you know, I'm not even going to go to Drumcondra. It's going to be more money. I'm like, fuck. So I'm like, where's his hair squad dudes? I can't find them. And I was like, fuck, I'm on my own. I was like, it's 12:30. Fuck it. And I see this guy in college that I'm with. I'm kind of friendly with him. We're not friends. And I was like, telling him about this. I was like, oh man, I was seeing him. He was like, what's the crack? I was like, fucking, my mate just bailed on me. Everybody that came with just like ended up kind of leaving the fucking club. Irish goodbye me, and he was like, fuck that, man. He was like, yeah, like, just fucking hang out with us, man, it's cool. I was like, do you mind? I was like, I don't really feel like going home. I was like, no, man, fucking tip over, started introducing me to people, blah blah blah. I was like, yeah, cool. So we get out, and I'm like, see you later. Jack was his name. See you later, Jack. Nice. He's like, yeah, listen, man, we have a house party, do you want to come through? And I was like, I don't know, like, it's all your way, it's mad Southside. And he was like, come on, bro, it's a scaff party, there'll be drink, boys, whatever, man. Like, you're totally invited. And all of his mates who I was talking to during the night were like, yeah, man, just tip over. Like, I was like, fuck it, I'm single fucking young man, this is what you do. You get in the fucking taxi. So I get into the taxi, and I'm being real nice and polite to all these people. My first time meeting them, go back to a house party, and we're going to some place, Fair House or somewhere like that. And I'm right beside the sliding door in the 8-seater, right? So the car pulls up, and the lads are like, oh, this is the gaff, cool. So I open the door, and I just walk towards the front door's open. There's a guy coming out, and there's a girl in the hall of the door. So like, people have been arriving. It's around the time clubs are closing. So I was like, hey, how's it going? And both the people were like, oh, hey, what's the story? Come on in, whatever. So I go in, and I'm just dying to get fucking charged on my phone. And I'm like, oh, just like greeting people as I come in, thinking like everybody's coming in. And I get into the kitchen, into the corner, and I see a plug. I have my fucking charger with me. I was like, bing, fucking put it there, lovely. And I got alcohol, a couple of beers after from the place that we all do, and I'm not going to blow up the spot on the podcast.
Can you tell me his place after? I don't know.
You don't know where to get drink after 3 o'clock?
No.
All right, I'll tell you after.
Yeah, please do.
Fucking, like, you call yourself a party boy. Come on.
So you're plugging the thing.
So I'm fucking plugging my phone. I have a few beers. I see these two lads. So like, all right, what's the story, man? I was like, all right, how are you? Blah, blah, blah. And I was chatting away. And they're like, I was like, oh, where are you guys from? They're like, oh, we're from Finglas. I was like, oh, I live in Finglas too. And like, oh, what part? And they're like, oh, the east. And in my head, I'm thinking, going, we're in it now. End of the night, I'll get a fucking taxi with these boys. Just split it with 3 ways. It's working out. People are coming over to me, hey, who are you? I was like, oh, I'm Carl. I'm here with Jack. And I was like, oh, yeah, cool, yeah, whatever. And everybody being mad chill with me. And then I see the guy that I seen out the front, and I think it was his board gaff. But he was on. I was like, yo, I was like, have you seen like the guys I came with? He was like, oh yeah, they're not allowed in, bro. And I was like, what? And he was like, one of the guys fucking owed money to another guy, or there was something about a bag of drugs or something like that. It wasn't major gangster shit, but it was like he ganked somebody, or somebody did some shit, and it was beef. And they were all like, well, if he's not getting in, and then they all piled into the taxi, and nobody was like, we better bring the randomer, because they were all locked, and they were like, who? And just left. And I'm like, oh shit. And I was like, fuck. I was like, bro, I kind of like knew one guy on that minibus. I have no idea who anybody at this party is. I'm freak, like. And I was like, look, man, really sorry, I'll leg it. And he's like, no, man, like, you were like, as he'd seen, I was well behaved, I was chatting to people. He was like, you're more than welcome to stay and have a few beers. I was like, oh, really appreciate that, man, thank you. I was like, I'll have these beers. But he was like, no, you're good to go, man, honestly, no worries. Gave him a pound. I was like, that's really fucking sound.
Yeah, that's really
sound. Hats off to this fella. Sit down, we're drinking, blah blah blah, and I'm just with these two boys, and oh yes, now very crucial to the story. This absolute Majover pair of fellas come down from the stairs and come in, and they're like looking around, and they see me with my phone, and they go, bro, do you have credit? And I was like, yeah. And I'm like, best behaviour. I'm like, yeah, of course. Free calls, work away, my man, absolutely. The two boys, text on, bro, she's on the way, and your man's there, just call her. no answer on it, blah, blah. But I was kind of half paying attention, but not really, because I was talking to these other two dudes, and they handed me phone back. I was like, sound, dude, like, yeah, sound, bro, whatever. My job, right? So then I'm talking to these two boys, and then the guy comes around back out again, and he was like, just kind of walking over to people, and people were like, oh, yeah, cool. It's kind of tipping on. It wasn't too late, but he was like, hey, listen, man, we're kind of wrapping things up. Going to keep the kind of close friends here. We're going to kind of just politely ask if, like, people can move on with that night. I was like, absolutely, no problem, man. I charged my phone, I had me park it. I was like, thanks so much. And I looked at the two boys, like, yo, do you want to leave? And he was like, nah, bro. He's like, talking about you. Like, we're really good friends. Like, we're staying here. And I was like, fuck, right? So I do not have money to get from fucking Fairhouse to fucking Finglas at all. So I'm like, fuck.
Fairhouse is your old ends, right?
No, it's Fairy House in Return.
Yeah.
Where's Fairhouse?
Fairhouse is near Tala.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So my thing was, I always thought everywhere on the south side was 10 minutes from town. Terranure, walk it. Rathmines, Rathgar, these are all walkable places into town.
You have like Knockline and like Templeogue, which is like, that's a walk.
10 minutes from town, apparently, in my head when I was this age. Right? I was like, yeah, where's that beside town? Because I'd walked in from like Temple or Terranure.
Terranure is not far, but Templeogue.
And I was like, Terranure was like middle south side, so like I can walk. I don't mind a long walk, as we already know.
We all know.
But I'm like, Fairhouse, cool, boom. And then I see, I'm like, where am I, by the way? And they're like, Fairhouse. And I was like, so that's near, they were like, Tala. And I was like, oh, right. So headphones on, big park. It is freezing out, lashing rain. But I have this massive Adidas parka. It's just like a lagging jacket, and I'm just chilling, just walking it, just sobering the fuck up. And eventually, this taxi driver comes in. I was like, bro, where you going? Where you going? I was like, oh, I'm going to town. And he was like, get in. I was like, I've no money, bro. No, honestly. I was like, thank you, but I was like, I'm tapped out. And he's like, bro, it's fucked up outside. Get into the car. And I'm going to town anyway. So get in. Like, the nicest dude ever. We ended up talking about Fela Cody for fucking the whole way and blah, blah. And he get to town and he was like, yo, thanks, bro. He's like, I can just hop out here. And he's like, no worries. Blah, blah, blah. And then I get into town and I have like enough, like I think it was like 15 quid to get to where I was living in Finglas.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So but I would also only ever get picked up on O'Connell Street. Like if I was on like Georgia Street, I'd be like, way out to Finglas? No, I'm not going that way, mate. never going that way. You know, it's so weird. Like you're never going to Finglas. It's mad, you know. Glasnevin, yeah, hop in, bro. So I just a little further, just down the road, yeah, just keep going that way, and then I get started sweating.
Fam, there was one time I was at this real fucking posh party in Ballsbridge, right? I was at like proper, like this is the one where I saw Boris Johnson's daughter, yeah? I was trying to get back to Mass, trying to get a taxi. When I tell you, I walked about, let's say, might have been like 5 or 6 kilometers back to Matt's, right? And the thing is, I would have taxis ignore me and pick up the people in front of me.
Right in front of you. So annoying. It's, oh my God.
And I was just like, I got more angry. Oh my God.
You start shouting at them and all.
I was just really, it was raining. I was really upset. I'm just like, bro, you can't drive by me to pick up people in front of me. Like,
I'm wearing a North Face and Air Max, and they're just like, you are not getting into this.
Like, this area is too nice for us to be grabbing and walking.
Yeah. What are you doing out here? So I get this fucking taxi back home, land in, and I'm in bits next day, and I was going back up to my mum's house. So I got the bus, and I was going off the bus, and I was walking up the road, and I get a text off an ex-girlfriend of mine. Not a good breakup. Okay. Blocked off everything kind of breakup. Not even an amicable, like, we're good. We since subsequently have seen each other and whatever, but we were together for a couple of years. And it didn't, so it wasn't like a thing, you know what I mean? It was like, this is like, she knew my mom and all, like, you know? And she's like, are you for, and just text me back. I just text my phone. I was like, are you for fucking real? And I was like, I'm trying to think, like, what the fuck did I do last night? Did I see her? What the fuck? And I open up my WhatsApp and there's like fucking 10 missed calls to my number. And like, where are you? I'm in a gaff and Fair. We're in that gaff and Fair house. Come true. The two fucking Majova boys had just seen my fucking address book and just started calling and texting her. They were texting my ex-girlfriend, Clara. And because they were looking for Clara. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, there's no way in hell this woman will ever believe that 10 missed calls on Saturday night at 3 a.m. wasn't me.
Whoa.
I was like, yo, it wasn't me. I gave my phone to somebody else. Didn't need to. I have to.
Oh my God.
And you know what the mad thing was? She didn't even say it. I just got the one tick. She just like had like been like, "Are you for fucking real?" and then blocked me. I don't think she blocked me on WhatsApp, and I was like, I know they hadn't rang her on WhatsApp. They had rang her on like.
It's like Viber or something like that.
No, they rang her normally, but then they text her to WhatsApp, and I was like, oh my! And like, there's nothing. Like, it's bad when people do that. Really. It's bad when somebody does it for you. It's
And you haven't
fucking
even
worse.
done
You're like, what? I wasn't even that drunk last night to be called, like, you know what I mean? You up text, you know what I'm saying?
And it's like, and it's not like a you up text. It's like a 10 missed calls.
Like, what story?
chill.
And these guys were fucking ringing this board to like fucking clearly like break. Maybe it was his board or something like that. It was trying to get it down. I for the life of me, I was like, I didn't call. It was like a week later. I remembered those fucking two guys in the fucking kitchen. I was like, I subsequently have met that girl before.
Did she believe you?
Well, I said to her, I was like, yeah, that didn't happen. I told her that story, and she was like, that's gas. And she was like, that sounds like your fucking luck as well. And I was like, you didn't believe it at all at the time. You showed everybody in all of your WhatsApp groups. She was like, of course. You were sprayed all over my fucking friends group. I was like, amazing.
It's making me itch.
So, yeah. So I don't know. I think song-wise, what I can go for here. Is there any you up text fucking songs? I mean, Drake is the obvious fucking go-to there, isn't he?
I mean, yeah, that.
Or we could talk about it wasn't me. Or Fela Kuti Zombie. Or
I'm all for the Shaggy Wasn't Me, because I think that's like, if he had one hit, that would be the best one hit wonder.
no, it's not. It's bombastic.
No,
I'm Mr. Lover. Yeah, man, that thing.
don't do
You're
that
telling
on
me.
mic.
You know what I mean?
The best Shaggy songs definitely Wasn't Me. Are we? Yeah. Okay, man. Right. Well,
Fools.
pick your song, man.
All right. Shaggy wasn't me.
Yeah.
But she got me on camera. It wasn't me.
She saw the marks on my shoulder.
It wasn't me.
Heard the words that I told her.
It wasn't me.
Heard the screams getting louder.
It wasn't me.
She stayed until it was over. Honey came in and she got me red-handed, creepy with the girl next door. Picture this, we were both butt naked, banging on the bathroom door. I had tried to keep her from what she was about to see. Why should she